pressing the I pressed the
Press
button.
all the
I had to.
It's the shiny red one. Always press it.
So, we return to our adventurers as they
Press the
prepare
red
for the
button.
upcoming task laid out before them.
I pressed it 3 times.
To investigate.
I pressed it
Pressed it
3
3
fucking
times,
times
one
and it
more.
didn't click. My God.
Comment. Do I have to start again?
Press it
No.
Press it again.
The
Press
discipline.
it again.
We return to our adventurers as they prepare for the upcoming task laid out before them. To investigate.
Shh.
Yes, I heard myself.
Yes.
Discover and sort out the problem of the undead roaming the southern shores of the Screaming Vines. Having been given the limited information from Kimi, Savangau's sister, to whom Bor literally owes his life, the Syrcas are now on their own on how they're going to deal with this. It being the problem, and the problem being undead. Again. The limited information passed along is the location of the cave and the multiple seemingly somewhat random patrols of undead guarding and apparently looting the locals. Some form of protection from scrying has been stopping Kimi prying any further into this cave. So you are going in somewhat blind. How will the Syrcas go about this task? Will they plan? Do they even know what there is such as the word plan? And I wrote this whilst I was actually partially ill, so will the DM's voice hold out for this session is now somewhat of an irrelevant question, which I forgot to remove. So you can see how much some of this was planned in advance, but let's just see what this adventure holds for us today with the dummies and their dice.
Alright. Who wants to go to the local
Wait, I'm
pub
supposed
and
to have
faff
dice?
about forever?
Oh, 1 arrows.
Wait, when the hell? Wait, I'm supposed to have dice? All I have is playing cards.
I have nothing.
Wait, what is today?
Anyway.
Cheeseburger!
Yeah! Can I have cheeseburger?
So we
Not
left
Monday
off-
session this shit.
Hey, look. Look, no one was helping me try and figure out why on earth.
I literally started railroading you and you fucking ignored that.
Oh, what, the letter? Yeah.
Yes!
Yes. Yeah, I was
Over
playing.
half a session you ignored it!
I was.
That's
Lewis
still my-
ignored it. I wanted to know what it was.
Nate, the way
still
you
my
sounded just
favorite
like
thing.
extremely pissed me off due to the fact that you sounded like the mouse. A live worker is a good worker. A dead worker is a bad worker. And it just pissed me off so goddamn.
Well, clearly they're not a fucking necromancer, are they?
No, they're a clockwork mouse.
Yeah.
Side note,
Fucking annoying.
I finally, after getting caught up with it, I watched that animated Critical Role We Are Gods video. And I'm just thinking about how
We're
you
practically
and-
gods.
Yeah.
Fuck
And
do
it's,
I...
you know how there's like the eye that's like hovering right next to Keyleth as she's falling, and they're all discussed, and it's Matt who's doing the voice for that.
Oh, yeah, I mean, yeah, it's the DM. It's how they're portraying
Yeah.
the
So
DM.
I'm imagining, as you were talking about the Monday campaign, just Cerno's just looking at, not Cerno, Arsene's just looking at this eye, and it's just out of character.
We're just glaring at her.
Yes.
Out of character. How I like that.
Yes. It's like you're talking out of character, but it's just kind of a similar idea.
Oh, I can imagine that. At
Alouette.
least with Nyx, it's like Nyx is just arguing with God out loud.
That's working so well, clearly.
Oh, yeah.
Because
Did
there
we
wasn't
learn
much more
something
I
that's
could do
Adam?
with that letter either. Because I kept on trying to prompt Lewis as well. It was like, is there anything else you're doing?
I
No,
just completely
okay.
ignored it.
You're waiting outside a classroom for about half an hour. Is there anything else you're going to do? You're just going to tap your foot impatiently. Okay.
Now I'm gonna sit and play on my phone.
I have
Candy Crush.
one question.
You go.
Since we're in a different town, this actually occurred to me a little while ago. The cart that you guys had would still be
We're
at
racking up a bill.
Oh
Yeah,
fuck,
you're-
we are.
You're
God
racking
damn
up one
it.
hell of a bill.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, how are we getting to this cave? Because I think it's longer than just a
Wait,
simple
I
walk,
thought
right?
we
No.
paid for a few
We paid
weeks.
a few weeks.
Did,
Oh.
didn't we?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you paid in advance, but if you take too long, you'll just be racking up one hell of a bill.
Mhm.
Especially
no
since
fucking
she
motive
charges
thing.
like 50% on top.
Oh, she
Yep.
does.
Oh
I forgot
god,
it was
right.
always
We
like-
gave her
not the
so
other
many
one.
ideas of how to fucking run her business.
Yeah, wasn't that our idea?
Oh yeah. She's like, oh, I'll write this down. Anyways,
So yeah, it's my question is, are we renting another cart? Is that a thing? Or
No,
It's not
we're
that far
just
away, is
walk.
it?
We just
No, it's
walk.
about half a day's journey. You were informed.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So we go walk.
Okay.
Walkie it is.
while we walk, can I look for birds? Can I
Right.
bird
Well,
watch?
I mean, what are you doing? You've
Woken up.
spent
I
the
thought we
night
were
in a
walking.
tavern. You've been informed of things that are happening. There's a slow sound of people making slow sound, brain. The slowly growing sound of people going about doing their day-to-day business in this town. You're beginning to hear the distant cries of people shouting and trying to sell their merchandise, namely fish. So, what do you guys do?
So we're still in town, right? Sorry,
Yes.
comment.
It's
Mhm.
alright. I'm just looking at the spells I want to prepare.
Let's get going.
Alright.
Agnes is impatient and wants to get going.
Yeah.
How familiar are we with? Is everyone with the undead? I mean, apart from the encounter.
Agnes didn't know about it until that.
Would it be worth a quick trip? Would there be any libraries that might have some information?
Could
Like-
we use the cat as a library? Not Savangal, but the other cat.
She
Kimi.
gave us a load of
No,
information last.
We already
last
have all
time.
the information Kimi had.
We have holy
And-
water, which
Fuck.
they're weak against.
You did actually ask if there was. So first of all, Agnes has actually done research into the undead beforehand.
Yes. I remember that part. I don't know how the fuck I remember that, but I remember that
She
part
did
due to
that.
the
She
fact
did
we
that.
talked.
Essentially at the end of the Lost Mines arc.
Yes.
So she actually knows that although undead don't have any specific weaknesses, they do have some resiliences and immunities, that being poisoned, exhaustion, not needing to eat, sleep, or breathe.
Yeah.
Although they don't have any weaknesses, radiant damage tends to mess with them, especially with like their ability to withstand hits and stuff. And that's pretty much all Kimi would be able to tell you as well.
Do you know what I remember from fighting undead?
Mhm.
Laughing.
Twang. Twang. Oh look, there goes his middle finger.
I also remember one getting repeatedly punched to death.
Yeah.
Well,
Further
I think you mean
death than
repeatedly
it was.
punched. The death was a very delayed thing.
Yeah.
Fucking
Punch lag, punch lag.
pseudo dragon.
that
Stuttering punches.
was my kill. That was,
Yeah,
that
fuck
was
off.
his kill.
Uh-huh.
He worked very hard for it. I'm
Yeah,
very
fuck
proud.
off. Anyways,
Let's get going. We know what we need to
fine,
know.
Mom.
I'm not sure if that's Agnes or Jam being impatient.
I don't
Both.
know which one is.
Getting a little too into
Let's
character
see.
there.
I mean, this is how she
Agnes is
normally
basically me.
sometimes.
We've learned
I know,
this.
right?
That does not surprise me.
I don't remember. Do I need to prepare the, speak with animals? I can cast this as a ritual spell if I have it prepared, right?
If it's prepared, you can cast ritually.
Okay, cool.
Has to be prepared to be able to cast ritually.
Okay,
Giant.
now I remember.
From
Cool,
the-
thank you.
Anyways, onward to it. Yeah.
We're
The
heading.
entire time, Savangal has been trying to play a rock ballad.
Oh my god, no, let's go, go, go.
No, it's on the bagpipes, remember?
How'd you do a rock
Wait,
ballad
wait.
on a
So he's
bagpipe?
playing it on a stringed instrument.
I was
Okay.
putting on the
There we go.
bagpipes.
She
Can
owns a
actually play
string
multiple
instrument.
instruments.
The drums and dulcimer are in the bag of holding, and she ain't getting them.
Then she's just air guitaring it.
And sound's still coming out. Who knew?
She's making the noise with her mouth and it works just fine.
any money
You know, as
from
she does that, her whiskers are just vibrating.
Oh my god.
Does Abigail make any money from that? Because she's still waiting for them to make up their mind.
Fuck it, make a performance check.
Oh my god.
Please, oh please, a natural 20.
No.
Let's see how we.
Oh my fucking god, you damn cat.
You earn 7 silver.
Oh,
Nice.
but
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
For the morning, yeah.
Boar's basically just waiting to be told to go.
Cerno's ready.
Oh, I'm eating breakfast actually. We should
You've
eat a
eaten
healthy
breakfast,
meal.
right?
We're going.
Okay.
Right, I
Okay.
guess.
So after a
Pretty
nice
happy.
filling breakfast and the air rendition of some weird form of instrument you guys aren't entirely understand, comprehend, or nor the music that is coming out of Savingal's mouth, you set off on the road. You make your way out through the town, which is beginning to pick up with a bit of business. The road to the north still being open and free of undead problems. There are a few shops sort of beginning to open up, a few weary eyes sort of glancing around, and you notice 1 or 2 people sort of just sleeping on the streets. Streets, gutters, back alleys, something along those lines. But you make your way out of town, leaving the hubbub behind you. It's cooler than the island you've spent for the past about week on.
We don't
The
talk about
air
that.
is relatively cool. It is beginning to reach. I mean, you're relatively north, but it's also beginning to come to the end of summer right now. Oh no, it'll be slightly beyond the end of summer. It's beginning to get into it's beginning to get into beginning to get into autumn. So the area is beginning to cool,
Nice.
and the trees, some of the trees are beginning to turn brown with their leaves. Interestingly enough, some of the trees, especially in the far-off jungle, which you can just make parts of it out, are a much darker, greener color, and don't appear to be turning brown in the slightest. But you make your way along the path, which not many people, you don't really come across many people. In fact, you start coming across just the occasional dead horse, broken wagon. You poke around some of these once or twice, looking for any leftover resources, but as far as you can tell, it's all been scavenged by other people or whoever attacked them.
Any idea on what killed the horse?
Make
Yeah,
a
can-
medicine check, please.
Can
Okay,
I investigate as well? Cause I'm curious.
Sure.
How long will this take for them to investigate?
Actually, hold on. I need to remember.
Half
Probably
a
about
day's walk.
15
20,
minutes.
20 minus 1?
For you, Lucian, I believe so.
I'm figuring it out! Yes!
Yay!
If
Took
I
me
have
how
the
many
time, I would like to ritually
Let's
cast
see
like
if I
speak
did
with
this right.
animals, and if there are any animals,
Are there any alive?
Wow.
are there any in the area?
It's
If
a
so-
horse! It's dead! Oh no!
Make a perception check, Cerno.
Perception check.
It's just it's
Lucian
a
done
fucking
good.
squirrel.
I know,
Like,
right?
it's a squirrel that's
19?
basically jacked up on fucking mountain. Dew.
19. Yeah, there appear to be, just quickly glancing around, there appears to be 1 or 2 birds sort of in the trees. You hear the odd bird song. Glancing carefully around, you do notice the sort of odd rustling of grass slightly in the distance, which you assume might be a rabbit or some other sort of field creature. No big, large animals, but there are a few small animals around, certainly. Well, Lucian, your understanding of horses is they're like big upside down elephants with a trunk on their ass.
Go ahead.
And,
Trunk on their ass.
This is funny. This is very funny considering what my previous job was.
I was gonna say, wasn't Lucian in the army or something?
Kinda close.
Too many
Dealt with
blows. Too many
horses.
blows to the head.
Well, after what happened 5 years ago, it makes you wonder.
I'm so concerned now.
Oh, I'm so happy. What did I get for my medicine check?
But Lucian, this is definitely dead, and you probably don't want it in your lasagna. Right.
This is what's sad is I actually did have lasagna last night. So
Relevant to
Hey,
4
Garfield.
years ago.
I mean, it's also like this is rancid meat, and you wouldn't want to eat it anyway. But yeah, also really
generally I wouldn't anyway because of real life stuff. No.
I wouldn't suggest the vegetarian option. That contains beef. Right. As for boar,
I mean, it ate grass.
it's relevant to the horse meat scandal a while back. They found the vegetarian lasagna had more cow in it than the meat lasagna.
Wow.
Yeah.
So vegan mac and cheese, right?
Don't start him on that.
So Ninja, Boar being somewhat more versed in wounds, glances over the horse. It appears that it's taken attacks from range and up close. It's kind of hard to tell. Again, rotting, sort of rancid meat, maggots now fully formed. But it does appear to be death, most likely due to blood loss, with some of the large gashes into it. And there are also some holes poked into it of decent size.
So it's range and melee, right?
From what you can tell, yes.
I relayed the information to the group.
Armed with
Thank you.
blades and weapons and such.
Bandits, maybe?
We already know that this whole road is the target of this undead. The fact that they have ranged is concerning,
Oh,
considering they're meant to be dead, undead. I'm so confused about this whole thing. They're not smart.
but they could be.
They just use whatever they have in their hands.
Actually, Agnes, make an intelligence check.
Is this about me remembering?
Yes, this is. Okay. As you say that, something in your brain suddenly recalls that undead aren't necessarily dumb. Anyway, Cerno, yes, as they are poking around this dead horse and Lucian is trying to get to the grips with how a large upside-down squirrel works,
Wait, what?
you would have the time to...
Upside down squirrel? I thought you said an elephant with a trunk in the ass.
Yeah.
Yeah, its description keeps on changing. It's a frickin' 2.
Would there have been horses where my character was from?
Yes, but I'm just taking the piss.
Uh-huh.
There's
I was gonna say
anything
you know what it's a horse, but you're just not very well versed in essentially the wounds, the weaponry. It's been too long for you're sort of more used to seeing
Hashtag
the
candid.
damage done to essentially a few moments, maybe a little after the battle. You're not really used to seeing them in this such a decaying state, so you can't really tell what happened to it. I'm just taking the piss that you don't know what a horse is.
Okay.
So yes, Cerno, you see a few smaller creatures, and you would have time as they are doing this to ritually cast the spell.
All right. I'm gonna see if I can get one of them to come over to me.
Can
You
Seven
just stand
go?
there.
Well, walk over to them, not menacingly, going, I don't want to harm you, I just want to talk. Please.
Make an
Get
animal
in
handling
my
check.
belly.
Animal handling, that is, yay, another +5.
All right, Savangal, what were you gonna do?
Listen around to see if there's anything nearby that could be a danger.
Make a perception check.
That's a 24.
That is a 24. With the animal handling, making calming motions and a calm voice and being... I was going to say crouching to the ground, but actually no, still crouching to the ground, you managed to reduce your size to be non-menacing towards these rabbits, and they are curious enough to hang around to see what you have to say.
Hello. Who are you?
All we hear is this fucking.
Yeah, all you hear is Sana go, and then the rabbits just sort of looking at each other and going. But Sono, you hear them going, eating?
Why you ask?
I'll have a nice.
Oh shit!
I'll have a basic, semi-formal conversation with them, and then ask, like, how did the horse die?
We don't know. Not
It
really
died.
nothing.
You
Although
seem-
it's lying on some pretty decent
Yeah.
grass, but we don't go near it. It smells awful.
Yeah, what's up, Doc?
Yeah, I said yeah.
That joke was despicable.
So,
Despicable.
anything strange in the woods or recently?
Could I roll a perception check to see?
I'm asking
mean,
the
you're-
animals.
Savengale and Agnes.
I was going to say, Savengale and Agnes are being the watch, to which at the moment you two don't see anything.
Boris is
well-
standing in awe, looking at.
You were looking
his
at the
little
horse.
brother.
There's
All
some
right, I'm looking at the horse.
there's some hunters which aren't really hunting, well equipped. Not really soldiers though. Not only hunting though, and keeping the hunters away. We're kind of like them, although a bit scary. Smell horrible though.
Do you know where they're coming from?
Do we?
All I can imagine is
Over there, and they sort of point in the general direction which you've been traveling.
Nice.
All I can fucking see is just like Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck just sitting there.
How many were there?
Do bunnies
There's
have
a
the...
long pause.
Like,
Can rabbits
Like-
count?
like, more than how many of you are here, or a lot?
Can rabbits count?
This is what I'm curious to as well.
What's their intelligence?
You see, this is what I decided to
Two.
go look up. I don't think there's a specific rabbit, so
Use the rabbit.
Don't worry,
No,
it has
so
probably has an intelligence of 4, right? Knows what it's doing.
Fucking smarter
I
than
was
me,
going to
bro.
say, but considering that most other beasts and the almijar, or essentially the horned rabbits, also a pretty decent thing to go off, they have an intelligence of 2.
Oh,
Didn't I guess they had an intelligence of 2?
4.
Eh, alright. I'm not gonna get into
Either
They
way,
sort of
that
look at each
was-
other and go, 700 more.
Mhm.
Okay. Does Cerno believe them? Can I insight check, please?
Please,
Oh,
please.
You make an insight.
Oh, no.
Actually, what's their charisma?
Insight is +2. This is going to be interesting.
What?
What is the bunny's deception? I need to know.
Did you roll? Oh my god.
Oh.
Okay, so their charisma is 10, so they have a flat roll. They rolled a 17. So no, there are 700 undead,
Ah, fuck, it's the cultists all over again.
or at least the rabbits believe there are.
Oh my god, I love this.
I will say that Sano has the enough sense to realize that rabbits might not
Yeah.
understand maths,
Thank you.
but they seem to believe that a large number of undead are there. That much you believe. You don't believe 700, but you believe it's a large number.
Okay. Thank you. Enjoy the grass. I'm gonna get up.
What's our scene doing?
Just keeping an eye out and playing with night eyes.
What's
Shooting the ham.
the deity doing?
The
The
deity.
deity, is that what the fuck we're calling
Were you not here for
Veronica
that?
now? No, I
Agnes
don't.
has started calling him the deity because Lucian has no fucking clue idea what's
Oh
going on.
yeah, I remember that shit.
So she's like, I'm gonna talk to my deity.
He's enjoying the
sounding
praise
good.
of being called a deity.
Oh god, it's going to his fucking
And
head.
he's also
Oh, yeah.
going
just
to Nate's as well.
in sheer utter confusion of Cerno just squeaking at rabbits and apparently holding a conversation. You
Maybe
just
keep
hear a
an
long
eye
drawn out, what?
Maybe keep an eye out for undead and warn us.
Wait, what?
Undead.
What about him?
Cough.
Where?
Keep an eye out for them
Oh,
and tell me if you see them.
see one.
Not the one talking
Oh!
to the rabbit.
Wow.
I was talking about you, walking corpse. I
Says
That
the one
just
that no
begins
one
to-
else can see.
was going to say, with that, he just begins to slowly disappear into the ground.
Oh.
God damn, man.
Ooh.
To be fair, isn't it Agnes's like heartbeat meant to like beat once every minute?
Yeah, I mean, Agnes
Or
looks like
something.
a walking corpse anyway, so the joke is well found.
Yeah, very well founded.
You literally have ability called, what was it? Strength of the grave.
Yeah.
Yeah, she don't blink. Heartbeats once every few minutes. And it scares her when it happens.
Oh dear lord, I forgot that thing still exists inside me. Ooh, I should really get that severe medical problem.
I forgot I had that.
Just have it
So,
removed.
if that's the case, how many times was it beating during our trip on the island? Like one stressful thing after another that went on.
It was
Oh,
probably a
it
normal
was at a.
heart rate. Like,
I was going to say it increased to about, I don't know, a beat every 15 seconds. That's racing for her. I was going to say, when Agnes becomes normal coloured and is due to the fact that she actually has blood flowing through her and her heart's beating at a normal rate, you know, she's close to cardiac arrest.
Jeez.
Anyway,
Yeah.
so those looking out, you have not seen any. You have not seen any undead thus far. Those two investigating the horse have discerned what you will, and Sano has held a somewhat interesting and apparently very insightful conversation with the rat.
Look, it's more
Yay.
information. You could already assume that.
This is also, I was going to say, this is so a story which just needs to get told that the druid got bluffed by a pair of rabbits.
Yes.
Shut up.
It does not surprise me with Cerno.
Shut
I'm
up.
sorry, but
oh.
Oh, is the money
Does
coming to
anything
fight you
surprise
back
us if
after
it's
what you
Cerno?
did with the wabbits?
Shut up.
Just for that.
Wabbits.
Let's see. How long did it take for you guys to find a boat?
Shut up.
Hey, you know what? Shut up.
How long did it take you guys to finally get through an encounter which I only planned to last 2 sessions?
Yeah, that works so well for us.
I got a wabbit problem.
I
We
got a
had
small
multiple
problem.
internet problems. It's amazing how many things just went from one end to the other during that session. I mean,
Alright, I guess we continue walking.
just for the heck of it, could I cast Detect Magic to see if there's like anything magical around? Not counting the 4 to 5 lighthouses that are either around me or behind me.
Well, there are several beacons of light shining from your compatriots. Glancing over the dead horse, there doesn't appear to be anything magical to do with it.
Okay.
Although, roll an Arcana check.
Okay, let's see.
Arcana?
Arcana. I have a +3. Okay. You're kidding me.
Well, some magic was used in the area.
Okay.
That's all you can tell.
I will be making a note of that. Well, that's it from me.
Alright.
Alrighty then. Shall we
Because we
continue?
know how far away it is, would we know when it's coming up? The
Yes.
area.
Yes. Kimi gave you pretty good instructions to getting there.
Alright.
So you would be able to start stealthing if that is what you wanted before you came right into contact with it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so you make your way along the coastal road for a bit before turning inland and heading somewhat towards the trees as described. Along the road, oh, pardon me. Along the road, you do encounter a few more, some more skeletons, some fresher horses, one or two broken carts, a few, actually quite a few corpses of people as well, with the same seeming injuries of that of the horses. When you turn off the path and start heading towards the mouth cave, the grass appears to be well trampled in parts. It seems that these undead do seem to follow some sort of pattern, although glancing at it, it appears that they don't take the most optimal route through the foliage. And in fact, for some reason, they seem to walk straight towards some trees and then turn around and then go around them. It's somewhat interesting, the well-worn routes and where they lie. Probably by about now, sneaking would be a good idea.
I was gonna
I
ask.
have a +2 in stealth, but what do I have to take off for disadvantage?
Disadvantage. You roll twice. You take the lower number.
That's
Okay, so
well.
1d20 +3, and
So-
then just
so-
take the lower number.
No, as in 2d20. So you roll twice. So 2d20. It
Right.
would still be +3, but you take the lower number rolled
Because of the. Okay, I think I got
because
it.
of the disadvantage.
Ooh.
Natural
I have.
Which would
Really?
be a natural 1, so a grand total of 4 for Lucian.
Oof.
I don't remember where my stealthy is. Okay, I remember exactly what the fuck my stealthy
I think
is.
when I get back into the game, I'm just
Mhm.
the later time. I'm not going to be wearing any chain or scale mail
You're
armor
gonna
after
be
this.
negative.
There are variants which actually
Yeah.
don't grant disadvantage.
Hey!
Nice.
Sneaky sneak.
I'm a
Really?
sneaky motherfucker.
All right, so most of you start slowly crouching and purple stealth.
Pay attention, woman.
There we go. Right. So the vast majority of you crouch and start slowly. You spread out to try and avoid being a large group. Reduce your noise. Take different paths. Reduce, what might get noticed. For the vast majority of you, you're doing quite well, keeping low, avoiding the sticks. Kind of finding your way through the lighter parts of the undergrowth, not making too much noise. Except for poor Lucian, who trips over apparently every single twisted route. Foot goes down about at least 4 rabbit holes and is getting somewhat frustrated by this ordeal, despite the number of glares Agnes sends his way.
She's doing that anyway. What's the difference?
Still interesting.
They've increased in quantity. But given a couple reminders, and despite even following in some people's footsteps and still managing to make a bit of noise, you guys relatively sneakily approach towards the designated area to which has been pointed out. I would like whoever is at the head to make a perception check.
Dude, I don't know if I'm at the head or not, man.
Probably.
Are we
Or
in a
Are
forest?
we in the forest yet, or?
You're not. You're not actually in the jungle. No.
Okay, because if we were, I would have said Darcy was at the
Who
head.
has the highest perception?
I mean,
I have a -1.
I've got
I don't
Well, I
know.
mean,
+5.
who?
I have a
No,
plus
no, no, no.
5 too. Oh.
Who would be
No.
at the front leading this? It's not
It
who
would
has the highest
usually
perception.
be
It's
Bor and
who would be at the
Cerna,
front?
right?
I don't know. We'll
Bor
take
and
front.
Bor because Tanker and Cerno because this is usually.
So what am I
treated armor.
doing? What is my rolling? Sorry.
You're
Yeah.
going first, so roll
was gonna say-
perception.
Yeah, it's whoever's going first. It's not whoever.
Okay, I go first.
We usually send Bor and Cerno.
Oh, D20 plus 2. Excuse me. Plus
So,
2.
where your characters would know sort of who notices
11.
things better, it's partly to stop you going, oh well, you have the highest modifier, you might as well be doing it. And it's also because to think about where your people are placed, because the best person that's seeing might not necessarily be the best person to be at the front.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The person with dark vision for God knows how many miles shouldn't be at the front.
Yes.
All right. So with an 11, Boar, you are somewhat able to notice that up ahead there does appear to be the sound of clinking armor and glints of steel, although not that shiny, through the shrubs and towards what you believe to be the cave mouth. There are the occasional trees, but you notice that they suddenly stop, not that far away from you.
Oh. What do I see, oh greatest wizard?
Are you going to tell the group you see this?
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm gonna
that is
tell
what
the
you
group I
see.
see this. Yeah. Yeah. I relay the information that you just told.
Immediately stop Lucian from moving.
No, movie. You gotta be so sneaky, like, hello.
Can I check behind us?
That's been working
Just in
so
case we
well.
walked past anything without realizing it?
Sure, perception check.
And we're not in the jungle yet, are we?
Can Cerno see anything from where he is, or is it just Boar because he's out front?
From glancing around, you guys don't seem to notice anything, but you do take note of what Boar is pointing out. And standing still, and with Lucian no longer making noise, you can hear the sort of clinking sounds of armor up ahead.
You said that there were trees.
Yeah, there's
around
the
us, right?
occasional tree sort of dotted around. It's not densely packed like a forest, but it's not very open like a field, if that makes sense. It's sort of there's a few trees growing here, there. There's enough open space that you can see through them, but also they're dense enough that you can sort of jump from tree to tree and take a little breather every now and then, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm going to go to the side and hide behind a tree. Like, flanking it, so but keep him back.
All right.
Can Savangel listen around her to hear if there's any other sounds aside from the clicking of armor, like any animals around?
Sure. Perception check again. I should note that this is probably about 100 feet away from you guys currently. Other sounds? Not. There appears to be. You can just about make out the sound of what you might of sort of like creaking wood, and your ears are able to pick up what you realize is actually another sound of clinking armor heading adjacent to you towards the first source. It's also a slight sound of creaking wood, snapping of branches. Sounds like general movement, but distant, slowly growing in volume.
Is it around nighttime at the moment? Where?
No, it's about. You would have stopped for lunch, so it's probably about 2, 3 in the afternoon.
Okay.
How tall are the trees? Like, where's the lowest branches?
Lowest branches, I don't know, probably about 5 feet on some of them.
Do I know
Do
where?
we fight or do we watch them and follow?
Just say watch.
Watch.
Be a good idea to watch for now.
I can't see anything.
No shit, shut up.
Then we can hide in the trees.
Boosty me. Boosty. Boosty. Boosty.
Pick him up. Just shut him the fuck up. I pick him
Well,
up
Sana,
Lion King
you're now
style.
most definitely surrounded by a vast number of branches to grab hold of.
Yep. I'll grab a hold of one and sort of leather my leaf. Whatever. Grab a hold and sort of climb in. Can I see anything now? I'm tall. I'm finally tall, Mum.
You know what? Make
Well
a
done,
perception
kid.
check at disadvantage.
Okay.
RC, you need a lift?
Okay. Do you need a lift?
I'll just
No, I'm
roll.
literally asking you if you
I'll
need a
just-
lift because I can float.
Oh.
I'll just roll twice. There we go.
We'll
see
Save
if
climbing
I
That's an 8.
We've sort of been shoved up and being slightly disoriented, and with still most of the leaves on the tree, it's kind of hard to see through. You don't really see much more than you did on the ground. Other than looking down, you notice that where there are no trees, there are tree stumps.
Should we all get in the trees? If we plan to follow them?
I thought it was
Follow
a smart
who?
idea. It's really not.
We just need to be in the trees, let them pass, and then we can follow them on ground.
Weren't they like off to the side of us,
Mm-hmm.
walking towards the thing? So they would pass us.
Oh, I thought they were coming towards us.
No, the noise is slowly getting louder, but they're walking adjacent. So you essentially got the odd tree sporadically placed, sort of a tree line there. You've got the noise of the clinking there, and then you've got what Savangale heard, a noise of the clinking traveling like that. So it's getting louder because it is coming closer to you, but that's only because it's traveling parallel to you.
So
Okay.
we should be.
So we
okay.
just need to move out their way.
You're not in their way.
I have to make sure they don't notice
Just
me.
need
You
to
are-
hide.
You are
Yeah,
here.
what's up?
They are here. And here.
Oh, okay.
Traveling in
Yeah.
this motion.
Yes, guys.
Okay, I was confused because
Are we sure they're not traveling around just to confuse us?
Or they could just be traveling to try and confuse you. And entirely my master.
What's this line around here?
Essentially the tree line.
Okay.
Dude, I'm already confused.
we should let them go and follow, keeping quiet.
Comment, what was Sona saying towards the boy?
Knock me down, please. I want to get down now.
Oh, right, you're scared of heights. I put him on my shoulder.
No.
As you're saying this, Cerno, just clutching a branch, this hand just reaches up, grabs you around, and before you even know it, you're just getting pulled. The branch is bending, and as you're suddenly pulled away, it goes.
Uh-oh.
I said
As it just
quiet.
snaps out of your hands. The clinking stops for a second, and you all kind of pause. And then you hear clink, 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 as it just continues.
Oh, thank fuck.
And I'm going to
Oh,
clarify.
God.
I'm not afraid of heights. I just don't like them. falling bit.
And I'm an avid sailor. Shall we continue?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. We get
Do we
closer
wait for- we
to the
wait.
cave, I guess.
Well, we're following the undead patrol.
Okay.
All right, so as you go forwards and get more towards the tree line, you're able to see a bit more. And you are able to see the cave to which you've been directed to with, say, about 3 just undead stood there. From where you're standing, they appear to be relatively heavily armed. Chainmail with what appears to be some wielding battle axes, some wielding swords, and several of them with shields as well. The additional clinking sound which Savangal heard as you wait for a little while, about a minute or two, what appears to be 2 undead, one pushing a wheelbarrow, one seemingly carrying its left arm, come towards the group of 3. The wheelbarrow, rough, made of wood, hastily put together. The wheel isn't quite right. You realize what the squeaking sound is of the wheel essentially turning. It kind of gets stuck into the mud, and it seems to be somewhat of a benefit, but not probably as much as you'd hope it to be. The undead is sort of more just pushing it along. There's a mound of sort of forming in front of it, getting parted to the side, and it's leaving a rather deep groove in the earth. It appears to be laden with different kinds of foods, and the foods themselves, well, they seem a bit blood splattered. As they
That's
reach this cave
delicious.
entrance, it appears to be a sort of what was once a hill, having been mined out with rocks and rubble piled to the left and right, and sort of grass and vines falling over this cave entrance, but having been pinned to either side. Looking down into the cave from roughly where you're standing, you can't see much apart from the odd flicker of light. And as these 2 undead approach, the 3 sort of turn to face them, and they hear sort of
Do any of us
Making weird
understand?
noises.
Oh, I understood it perfectly. It's having a conversation in the morning before you've had your coffee.
You speak on a daily basis.
Actually, Agnes,
Uh-oh.
Undercon, you do understand it.
And I was joking.
You do actually understand it. They're speaking in Undercommon, and as much as a shock it is to you, and as you just sort of start tuning in, it appears to be they're having essentially a conversation of where did the other 3 go? They fell. The one carrying the left arm says, "This isn't even my own." And then they start talking about the supplies which they've got and how they should probably start shifting them back into the storeroom to please the master.
I must please the man.
Think we could take them?
How many are there? Like, how many of them?
5.
5.
5.
5 against 6.
Well, I'm tipsy, so I think we can do this.
5. One of them's carrying a 6th arm.
Mhm.
So I don't know how much they'll use them.
They were armed with battle axes.
Armed?
An
Mm.
arm
What's
wielding.
Odd.
There is an arm wielding an arm wielding.
Which
They
will
are
eventually
heavily armed.
become an army.
Yes, one of them is very literally armed.
That's funny.
Any ranged capabilities on them?
You know what? I'm gonna be kind. Make one more perception check.
Yay!
Who?
God's being nice. What the
Thanos
fuck
is
did you
looking-
do?
Cerno.
That's another 8.
Oh my god.
That is beautiful.
Roll another
They could-
one just
They
out
could
of-
probably throw the battle axes.
Alright. I think we could... How far away are they right now?
Good question. Probably about 70 feet.
I would
They're in
say I'd
range
like
of
to
my
go into
bow.
a rage, but this is not the character.
I mean, they're in range of my bow. I'm not proficient in it, apparently. I didn't remember that. Apparently, I'm not.
Is it
Two of
really?
us here
I
are
thought,
proficient in bows.
I thought you were proficient in
No,
short bows.
apparently not.
Wait,
How?
what?
Apparently not proficient in short bows.
Sarno, proficient in club, dagger, dart, javelin, quarterstaff, scimitar, sickle, sling, and spear. Nope,
I thought I
Proficient.
was.
apparently not.
Hmm. Do you like my dagger instead?
I mean, it's still a +2, so it's not awful.
That's not great for wielding a bow.
What to hit?
Yeah, it's only a +2. So,
Yeah, I have a +7.
I mean,
All
You're
right.
a ranger.
All right.
You're a ranger. You're meant to have that high.
Yeah, but like, you know,
yeah.
it's a
So
good bow. Okay.
yeah. So I mean, we can fire from range, get a few cheeky shots in.
My only concern is they could alert those inside.
Yeah. Probably want to stop them from doing that.
Well, as you're talking, they seem to start slowly. The one pushing the cart just kind of lets go of it, and you just hear a as it kind of just thuds and then squelches into the mud slightly. The storm which you passed through whilst travelling here, you assume probably came from, well, inland. And so the ground underfoot has been quite damp and soggy, and a cart laden with provisions is going to stick its way through.
Hmm.
And they set about, just one kind of grabs this large sack and just kind of pulls and starts walking, and the wheelbarrow just kind of starts scraping along the ground, and there's just more which Agnes essentially understands them to be going, no, lift it with two people, you idiot.
How
wide
far,
is the cave entrance?
The cave entrance is about 15 feet wide.
How far apart are they?
Fuck it.
I'm
Have a battle map.
I can block the entrance.
Like, damn it.
I don't know, and I don't care. Point and click, and I'll be right there. What the fuck? Oh, they're all the way over there. Why are we so far away?
We're far
Because you don't
away.
want to get noticed, weirdly enough.
Well, how far?
You said you can block the entrance, Agnes?
I need to
Dude.
be a bit closer.
There's a fucking 120 wire? Okay.
I mean,
I need to be a lot closer.
Shut up and dance.
I need to be here, 60 feet.
I can.
Don't you want
I feel
If
confident.
we need a distraction.
I need to get there quietly before they
As you're
alert
talking,
anything.
they are beginning to unload these provisions, and they're
Agnes is going to start moving forward quietly by herself.
all right. And they're sort of kind of
Who's
gathered around.
getting his,
One's already heading
bow and
towards the
arrows ready?
cave.
One's heading towards the cave.
Yeah, one's heading in already.
I want to get there and cast web before he does.
I'm going to. I am.
Then I recommend we all roll initiative.
Oh
Alright.
dear.
God, I don't remember how to do
Initiative, initiative.
You're allowed to move up to 30 feet forwards.
We weren't in initiative.
Yeah, so, but you can't just. Yeah, you
Oh
can't just
my
go. We weren't in
God,
initiative.
every
We're going to go
time.
over there. That's not quite how it works, woman.
But.
Every time.
It's just how she is, man. You get used to it after.
No, it's my
A year.
initiative roll. Again.
Bro. Alright, I gotta roll for that. What the fuck's my initiative?
Jeez.
I didn't realize you could
Are
scroll.
you turning
macro
into our
bar.
version of Will Wheaton?
I thought that was my.
Not, but
Oh.
Yay!
Hey!
I'm making up the
Oh,
votes.
wow.
It's been a while since I got a
Wow.
nat 20.
Means you're going first.
Oh no. I'll hold my action. It's fine. I can only
Don't
shoot
you
one arrow though
want
if I
me,
do. Okay?
baby? I'm kinda fucked up. Hey.
Cool. Right. You guys.
Are we
Lucian got
Are we still stealth?
5. You are still stealth, and you can move 30 feet forwards before we initiate the initiative.
All right. I will.
Or, well, 25 feet for you, Sona, and 40 feet for Boar.
Can I move?
Because
up
essentially you
towards-
can move your movement.
I'll move up towards Agnes.
Actually, I'll let it sort of be 30 feet just for you, just because.
Could I not have dashed?
You can do
Woman,
that as
this
you-
is initiative starting as you advance. And if you want to stay stealthy and get a surprise round, no.
Did you want me to? Did you say? I'll.
You can move. You can essentially move about 30 feet or so.
I'll just move up next.
Odd.
Oh shit! Actually, what is the?
Why are you going slowly?
Sub, what have you done?
Because I had the worst in stealthing at the moment, thanks to the nat 1. I'm
Good point.
afraid to go behind Cerno or Agnes, because that might give you guys away.
Come cuddle behind me, buddy.
All right.
It was not
Arsene,
floating.
what are you doing?
Oh god. Wait, let me check my range on my bow. My long bow. 150 feet.
I'm going to get out my
Oh, it's nice
bow
having range.
and
Hey, I'm at the front. You're not in the way.
It's not your go yet. You're last.
I know. I'm just
She was being mean because I shot him
But
once.
one with the green dart doesn't.
Shoot him again, make him learn his
Oh,
lesson.
I was going to say this one is the one which is carrying its own arm. Well, carrying another arm. Carrying. Just point of reference.
So I'm gonna move up over here.
His name is Gerald.
since
Aw,
we lost,
it's
I'll
actually in the
disappear
way.
for a quick
Gerald's
sec.
my
Be right
favorite. Can
back.
we leave Gerald alive?
No.
Which one's Gerald?
Well, why not?
Who are you shooting at then, Abby?
Gerald.
Oh no, I wanted to. Well, which one is Gerald?
One left.
Okay.
We've
gonna hold
become attached.
Then
No.
this guy moving the cart when
Why
I
did we
see
name
Agnes.
He's not moving the cart. He's dropped
Yes.
the cart.
He's dropped the cart.
Yes,
He might pick it back up though.
No, he's unloading from the cart.
I'm gonna stop him from doing that then, but I'm gonna wait till Agnes stops them going into the cave.
Okay, well, this guy continues moving forward with his load. Seven go.
He is going to go up to. She's going to give inspiration to Arsene.
Oh, thank you.
What kind of inspiration?
He's probably going to go up to her and just and say in very quiet draconic, well, actually, Nidus is back here, right?
Yeah, Night Eye's staying behind. Fuck that shit.
All right. So she goes up to Nidus and tells him in draconic to send Arsene good vibes and that I believe in her.
Nice.
Arsene, somehow the sweet succulent smell of ham just empowers you, and you have an inspiration die.
You can't. You can't help of this.
Honey cured and smoked.
Oh god, don't make me hungry.
Is it honey too?
Honey cured and
Damn
Fuck yeah, it's honey.
Thank you, Semingo.
You're welcome. It's probably a good thing you have not introduced Night Ice to bacon, or that would be overwhelming.
Every pig in a mile would be dead.
Okay.
Bacon's just
Actually-
fucking amazing right now.
Why are all
Really
our
good.
pigs dying of poisoning? I don't know. Nom, 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 nom.
I mean, you've lived out on the road for quite a while. You probably have it.
All right. So if that's Savangale's turn, it's this guy's
We
turn.
would
who's-
also like to move behind the stump where Cerno is,
certainly move away.
all stealthy.
All stealthy. This one's gonna sort of no, not that one. That one. There we go. It's gonna sort of reposition to try and grab what appears to be a sack full or overflowing of apples, and it's kind of just. It kind of picks up the sack, and a couple of apples drop out, and it leans forwards, picks a few up, put it in the bag, and as it leans forward, tumble out back into the car, and it seems to be just a somewhat endless cycle. Cerno.
Alright, I would like to move my movement, so boom. In the middle? Yeah, fuck it. And I'm going to
You're
cast,
not hidden by anything.
and I want to cast Moonbeam on that dude, please.
Okay.
There goes that, goes that. That's fine.
Look, he's gonna enter the cave, so...
It's a 5-foot radius, so let me get the 5-foot bread.
Now, actually,
The 5-foot
depending on how the 5-foot radius works, I may change up who I'm shooting at. I just wasn't sure, so I was just gonna currently aim for the forward guy.
I will not attack unless told to.
5-foot bread. 5-foot bread. It's a bread that's 5 feet long. Subway, eat your heart out.
To bring this
I had
dice
to-
rolling, I can't
Nothing.
think. Hold on.
Oh, god damn it. Wrong one. Hang on.
Wait, someone help me.
What?
Trying to think. We interrupt this program. We interrupt this thing of rolling to talk about
There you
a
go.
sponsor, 5-foot bread. It's amazing bread company.
I
It is 5 feet of
can I
bread.
hit?
Are you trying
How-
to Sam
Alright.
Regal this?
I'm trying to just do things in general, but I can't, man.
Can I just refine where all of these guys are?
Yes, let me just define where all these guys are.
All right. I'm going to cast it there.
Okay, at the one which is essentially picking up apples, which constantly fall out, and then so it keeps on picking up apples. Right.
Yep.
Pale beams
So-
centered on the point within range until the spell ends. When a creature enters the spell area for the first time on a turn, or it starts its turn, is engulfed in ghostly flame.
Harold isn't
So
included
okay.
in it.
Right, now if I recall, so they don't take damage until the start of their turn. But there is now essentially this shaft of silvery light burning down onto them.
One of them's going to
Can
be acting
I-
after me. Yeah, that one.
I mean,
use
they'll
my
they'll
reaction?
they'll all take all three of them will take damage because they're starting their turn there.
Yeah.
Then and they're not going to get dragged out by another creature. But it's
Nah, Harold's gonna save them all. Great.
Right.
Gerald. It was Gerald.
Can I use my reaction then? Can I trigger?
Sure.
I wanted to shoot this guy. Change my target. Can I do that?
I'll let you roll your attack. 17 just hits.
Oof.
Oh no, 17 does not hit. Sorry, my
Ah.
bad.
Oof.
Sorry.
Ooh.
I'm sorry, what?
These creatures are wearing chainmail and carrying shields.
But he would have the shield in front of him, and he's
Cerno
carrying
has the shield.
something.
I was going to say, Cerno has the shield in front of him. It still adds to his AC.
Does he know I'm there?
No, he
Okay.
does not. So you do have advantage.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
18 just hits. Roll your damage.
Yay, better damage.
It just you watch as it just sail. Damn it! I put it too high for me to actually be able to type into its health bar. You watch as it just sort of sails over and embeds it into its shoulder, and you just hear. as you just see, you seem to have hit a nerve, one of the few still functioning ones, and has just caused its left arm to drop. Is now just sort of hanging limply, and it's just kind of looking down at its own arm as if to say, "What the fuck?"
Hey, you shot me.
It's like,
Oh,
hey, that's not
goodness.
meant to happen.
And because of my thing, he doesn't know where I am. I think. Wait, let me read my feet.
No, that's only if you miss. He knows where you are now.
Okay.
Okay, he knows where I am.
All right, so Constitution saving.
Let's see how
Okay.
this goes.
Constitution.
Da-da-da-da-da.
What is your?
Let me. Okay. I'll mark myself for concentration.
What is your? That's a 20. But roll your damage.
All right. Hang on. It was just 3d10 no matter what. Yeah. Yeah.
Depends what level you cast it.
I've casted it second.
Then I believe it's a 2d10.
Why does it say 3d10? That's probably because I picked it up on. Never mind. Okay. 2d10.
Moonbeam. Yeah, Moonbeam says 2d10 unless you're looking at the.
I
No, you cast it at third level. You press the third level slot.
But I've got it cast as a. Oh, okay. 3d10 it is then. Whatever.
I was gonna say you can change it to a second.
Nah,
But-
screw it.
All right,
Screw it. Let's do it. 24.
24
Go,
points.
go.
Okay, so it takes 12 points of damage as it just spontaneously starts catching on ghost fire. So as it's just stood there picking up apples and this shaft of silvery light descends down on it, it kind of stops, looks up, and you just sort of see parts of its flesh just start sparking into white fire. There's a second before it suddenly realizes what's happening and just starts sort of slapping itself trying to put the fire out.
The most delayed reaction ever.
And it's like,
And
something's
Colonel,
not right here. Oh shit! Boy, your
Is it-
turn.
Is it
I
Infernal
don't-
that the guys? I'm sorry, Ninja.
Undercommon.
Undercommon.
What the fuck? I can't do shit, man.
Sorry about that. I was just imagining the guy on fire
You can
in
move.
Undercommon saying, "Ah, it burns! It burns! It burns! I'm supposed to be dead, but it still burns."
I only have like. What all do I have?
Like, I don't recall ever getting
I have
cremated.
40 fucking movement? Okay. I
Worst
guess I
cremation
start
ever.
advancing to I go to here.
You know you can spend a key point to sprint as a bonus action, right?
I totally forgot I
No,
can
he
do
does
that.
not.
I'm not gonna do that though.
Drunk Ninja does not. No.
No, drunk ninja does. Well, tipsy ninja. There's a
Alright.
difference.
Agnes?
There's a major difference.
Go move. Feck. Go move here. Wait, which is 29?
To
Just
here?
next to 30 feet.
Here?
I'm trying to get as
Here.
closest to the cave as possible so I'm
Here.
in 60 feet range.
Here? Or here?
Can I cast web before, just in front of that guy? Even on him,
It would
just
be
so it
on
blocks
him.
the cave. Because it's a 20-foot cube.
It would be on him. In
Yeah.
fact, it would be suspend. Wait, is it a 20-foot cube? I thought it was a 15.
20-foot cube. The web fills a 20-foot cube
Mm.
from that point. And you said the cave entrance was 15 feet, so it would be the
Yeah,
whole
I
entrance.
know, but I just recalled Webb being smaller.
No,
So centered on him. There you go.
I guess. It's just going to be 20 foot. Well, I want it to start the entrance of the cave. But it's going to
Mhm.
include him.
I
if
mean,
he's-
it's essentially just spread across the entrance of the cave, yeah.
Yeah. So they ain't going nowhere.
Uh,
And I'm concentrating now because.
Speed you up. I should probably put the battle music on. Oops, shit. Apparently, control that closes down my music entirely. I did not mean to do that, but oh well.
Don't do that. Fuck up.
Hello, don't do it.
Hello, Ducky, my old
Right,
friend.
that makes it that Dread Warrior's turn. So he's going to see if he spontaneously catches on fire.
Rubber Ducky.
What is your what's your save DC, Comet?
Ah, that is 13.
Oh, so it's 14 it makes it, so it also takes 12 points of flamey damage. I believe it's actually radiant, isn't it?
Yeah, it's radiant, so I don't know. I think that does more or something.
Nope.
They don't do shit.
They
Trust me.
aren't vulnerable, just radiant cancels out some of the things they can do.
Thank you, Link. But
As I
Arsene
said
doesn't know
earlier.
that.
Right, so that one, a bit more sort of wise to what's happening, starts backing out as it sees its friend spontaneously catch on fire. Quick enough, just dragging this giant sack of blood-stained whatever. It starts burning as well, and it's also sort of trying to pad itself out, drag this bag of flour, and not be on fire. This one sees the giant ray of moonlight, sees that its friends are getting caught on fire, turns, and notices most of you guys.
Hola.
Hola, senor! Would you like to buy some apples?
You seem to be struggling with them.
Glances over at the undead that was picking up the apple, saw him catch on fire. It's like, I'll pass.
Bigger enough.
They combust. Apples are bad.
Don't. Why?
I want to get the first smack.
Okay.
But he couldn't have seen you behind. Oh, that's a tree stump, isn't it?
There's a tree sprout. No, I'm just crawling everywhere, man. Just army crawling.
Don't say that, otherwise it'll give you disadvantage.
No, don't
Okay.
do that. You're joking.
Crawling? No, that reduces your movement speed. I'm not entirely sure why you're moving like that, but alright.
Oh, I'm just trying.
Because he presses Q every time.
You don't have to press it every time, dude. We've said this before. You can just pick it up once.
The yellow thing, that's you.
Yeah. Well,
So that's you. The yellow arrow.
Shouldn't be.
No. Yellow.
No, it's
I'm the blue one.
orienting from Lucian. It's orienting
Yeah,
from
see?
Odd.
Mine's a yellow.
That's,
All of them are yellow when they're moving like
I'm
that.
just trying to
all
see
of
where
them yellow?
Yeah.
just trying to see where 30 feet is.
Dude, you can just pick yourself up, press Q once, and then drag, and it will show you. You don't have to press it in every square.
Oh, I see. Okay.
It automatically calculates it for you.
All right. I'm gonna go ahead and move over to here. I think that should be good. And I'm going to shoot at this guy with my longbow.
Alrighty, roll your attack.
And that is I always
Plus
forget
7.
this one.
No, sorry, +5.
All right, 1d20 plus 5. Just making sure. Yeah. All right.
Don't start yawning. That's contagious.
21
Thank
We all
definitely
knows the
hits.
time.
Sweet. All
So
right.
your D8 plus 2.
1d8.
Caffeine's wearing off. Not my fault.
1d8
Some
plus 2.
alcohol. That always helps.
Okay. It was that for both attacks, or can I tap him again?
You can attack him again.
All right.
Alright, so as this one lumbers, it's not so much lumbering, it's less of a lumber, and it actually seems to have somewhat alright motor control. It's kind of drawing its battle axe. The shield is definitely in position, and it's just walking towards you in a battle-ready format. One arrow strikes into its shoulder, and it kind of staggers slightly, but continues moving. Roll your damage for your second hit.
Okay. So 4 damage on the first and 7 on the second.
7 on the second. Pretty decent.
Alrighty.
As you release another arrow, this one actually embeds further into its leg, and you see it stumble a bit more, but just continue on moving. Arsene, your turn.
Oh man. I can't still see that guy. This guy up here, can I?
You just see web.
Well, yeah, you kind of just see web now, and there's also another undead sort of stood in your way.
I will move forward. Night Eyes will move up. over there. I don't know, he's gonna go hide behind Savinga. And I'm gonna shoot this one instead. Twice. Joop choom. Hell yeah, I forgot to Hunter's Mark.
Ooh,
Oh, well.
nice.
My own fault.
Right, well, roll your damages.
Still got
I'll
natural
do them
20.
separate because one's a 1 and not 20.
Mm-hmm.
Oh really? I got the 8 on the second one.
12, that's 22 points of damage. That's nothing to be shunned. It's as
Yeah.
it's advancing, just 1 arrow, 2 arrow, 3, 4. Just straight succession. Lucian finishes releasing his second arrow with a slight delay, and as it's slightly just getting back from the stagger, just as 2 more arrows slam into its chest, and it almost completely falls backwards. It kind of lolls around, swings itself back, and kind of regains its composure, but it's looking kind of shaky now.
Hunter's Mark.
Yeah.
Because I forgot.
Yeah.
Cast Hunter's Mark.
Boop.
All right, this guy's turn, I believe. What? Dexterity saving. Alrighty. Is star cast? Believe it is, but I just want to make sure. Oh no, it just has a safety. Alright, fair enough.
Mhm.
And with a natural 7, it does not make the save. So. It can now make a strength check to try and break free, which it's going to do. And with a natural 17, it's able to do so as it continues off further into the cave, just lumbering along.
Wait, it can get through it?
Yeah.
Oh.
So you cast web. It started its turn, so it failed its dex savings throw, so it was restrained.
But it got through.
It then used
Exactly.
its action to break free, so it's just beyond your web now. So, Savingal, your turn.
Right.
It's like 5 feet beyond the ending of your web because it was centered on it.
She's going to shoot the guy walking toward them with the crossbow.
All right, roll to hit. $21 hits. Roll damage. Mm. Dun, 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 dun. 4 points of damage. All right. Let me check. Okay, it needs to make its Constitution saving throw.
Wait, which one is dead?
Natural 20. None of them. As your crossbow bolt hits square into the head, you see it kind of stop. It's sort of swaying. It begins to fall back, but all of a sudden, it just seems to surge slightly, seize up, stop mid-fall, and just bring itself straight back, and just still stood there staring at you guys. All right, Comet, if you want to roll your damage again.
All right.
Would it be? Can I say something that we all were told as a group?
Another 24.
What do you want to say? With a natural 1, that guy takes 24 points of radiant damage.
That Kimi reported that these were resistant to non-magic attacks.
You can certainly remind them if you want.
Yes.
All right, this one is deciding to actually take notice of you guys. And so is now also making
Hi,
toward, the way
buddy.
towards you with weapon draw. Actually, it's gonna get up all up in your grill. Sana, your turn.
Oh boy. Okay. Gee. God.
The one next to Agnes is still smouldering slightly, and the strong stench of burnt flesh is beginning to. Well, I mean, to Agnes it smells not pleasant, but not disgusting. But to you, it's rather unpleasant, Sana.
It
Oh,
brings back memories.
oh god.
Ah, fun times.
No, it wasn't.
I want. I'm gonna produce flame
What?
on it.
All right, roll to
That's
hit.
like a direct thing. That's not an area effect thing, right? Like,
Oh no, it's going to blow up a whole 15-foot area and deal massive damage and knock you out cold. No, of course it's a cantrip. It's not fireball.
Don't worry, I'm not that mean. That doesn't hit.
Ow, my back. It hurts.
Unfortunately, with a 14, it just glances off its armor.
Yep. I'll move up next to Agnes.
All right.
you might not.
This one's going to see what happens.
So no
With a natural 3, it
Just
also
made it
takes
to where
24
she
points
can't
of
do
damage.
third burst.
Are we able to? Should we be able to see the health bars?
Nah, they look pretty damaged though. It doesn't serve too much purpose for you.
Alright.
So
You
no,
can
you
move
done
away
go
from me.
Mm.
Easy though.
No. Bo, your turn.
I'm gonna do a runny and a jumpy and a punchy. Basically,
Which one?
But where are you moving to?
Uh,
Right here.
yeah, I'm gonna go up here. Do. And I'm gonna use my 10 feet fucking reach.
He's finally remembering, guys. I'm so proud.
Shock horror.
It's fucking 6, ain't it? For my punchy. Yeah. It's a +6. And I'm aiming directly for his head. And I guess that's a miss.
Hang on.
Right?
Yes, that is a miss.
Okay, well, I'm going to see, is there a way I could flip myself around with the inertia of missing and bring my foot down?
Certainly, roll to try and hit.
17.
As you spin round, try and bring your foot down, and just slams against its shield, which wasn't there before, but now it is.
Don't I get 3 attacks?
You can use your bonus action to attack again, yeah.
I'm gonna fucking use my bonus action. Out of annoyance, I'm going to bring the other foot down. Or, I don't know, I'm gonna do something cool. I can't do shit. Okay.
Well, with your foot there, you try and swing your other foot around quickly to try and go into its leg to try and sweep it out under, but just it just hits against solid steel and bone. And you kind of Scooby-Doo hang in the air for a second before you quickly are able to sort of land on your able and kick yourself back up onto your feet as this undead just stares at you.
What do they say?
Oh no, that was literally just a grumble.
Okay.
Agnes, your turn.
I'll gonna punch it with a shocking grasp. I'm gonna fucking kill it.
Roll damage.
Oh, fucking kill it.
It is still possible to roll 2 damage, I will remind you.
I know, but that's is it just 2d8? It's 2 straight d8.
Yeah, it's just the straight die.
I'm gonna fucking kill it.
14 points of damage as you sort of reach out, grab it.
Isn't it wearing metal armor?
And it's just char grilled. It's wearing chainmail, yeah. Doesn't really matter.
Boy. Oh! That changes how I move. Boy.
Boy, boy.
Wow, you really groped him there.
I told you I
It's essentially, she reaches out,
Hey!
grabs the chainmail armor. You just hear and see this crackling all across it, and when she removes her hand, there's now just this smoked and char-grilled corpse in armor, which just kind of goes
Is this a stump or a tree?
onto its back.
Is that a stump or a tree?
They're all stumps. There are no trees around this cave entrance, as previously.
Really bad choice of location. It's not very hidden.
All right, this one, it's going to attempt its Constitution saving throw. Oh, and it actually makes it. So it only takes 12 points of damage.
Get.
Seeing this happen. Kind of rush forwards. And this one. No. That one is actually something along the lines of, "Oi, get out of here." As it now finally gets to
Also, I
make
feel like Agnes is
its
now,
attack.
whatever she's shouting at them is in undercommon.
That is a 17 and a 16. What's a... That's 2 hits.
Yep, it is.
What the? Why did I just
it's-
hear a fucking horn?
I don't know. That wasn't me.
Wasn't on here.
14 points of damage total to Boar
You're
as
hearing
this
things.
undead lurches forwards and
Well, no,
How much damage?
14.
no, darn, I'm
fuck
hearing
this
things,
shit.
Jam. How else would I have heard the thing?
Oh my god, shut up.
Actually, I
kitty
have
cat.
an explanation to what you just heard, but I'm not going to explain.
All right, is Odd back yet?
Nope.
I still have
Uh,
a fucking API error. Are you fucking kidding me, D&D Beyond?
What does the API stand for?
I don't fucking know. All I know is API.
If you just make something weird up.
So welcome to 6 Idiots and 1 Arrows.
Would Agnes know how she understands them?
It's 6 dummies and
but
1
she knows the
dice.
language. She knows which language they're
I'm
talking.
trying to think how she would have learned undercommon.
Good question. That's for you to find out.
Find out or figure out, because you don't want to do it.
No, it's your character.
That means I gotta figure it out. Okay.
Just remembered it's Critical Role tonight, and then just remembered I go work tomorrow, so I can't watch it until later.
Dude,
I'm
know what
so
tomorrow
far behind on that now.
Feels sad.
I've got into the habit of just watching it almost as soon as I get up.
I don't want to go to work in the
I
morning.
gotta watch
man,
it
but
tomorrow, I
everyone's
guess, in the
sick.
morning if I have time.
Do you have to go work in the morning?
I don't have work, but I am going to the baby scan.
The baby's
Not my baby scan. I should.
Jam's expecting! Yay!
What a sentence to come back to.
Good, your turn.
Sorry, I had to help Mom
So-
get stuff in.
No worries.
Jam, is there something you're not telling me?
Yes,
I
a lot
told
of
you a
stuff.
few weeks ago I'm gonna be a mum.
Oh yeah.
Come on, keep that
good.
plan.
No.
Okay, I'm gonna take 2 more shots at the undead that's next to Cerno.
Alrighty, roll your attacks.
Confused.
Alright,
And then my
so
tipsy
since I'm
spam,
doing
so
both,
we're
it would
confused,
be a
but
2d20 plus 5, right?
Sure. That is a 18 and a 16, so 1 hits.
Okay, 1d8 plus... Alright.
Looking It's looking quite damaged, but
Yes, I remember.
10 points. Nice.
Nice.
Now we just need to see if it can make its Constitution saving throw. With a natural 20, it succeeds.
Ah, bugger.
Jesus Christ. I'm gonna get all natural ones come Sunday, for fuck's sake.
At least the nat 20s aren't an attack.
This is true. Alright, so as you loose your arrow, you aim true, straight through the a crink in the chainmail armor. You see the arrow go straight through, buried right up to the fletching. The creature just kind of looks down, takes a second, and just looks back at you.
Hi,
I'll see
I've got you in my sights.
I've got
You
you.
don't even play that game.
One of these days I will, but
You own it, you don't play it.
yep.
Okay, I'm
You've
going
owned
to
it
move
for like a
here.
year.
Oh yeah.
And then that's my. Hold up. Is this better?
Scene just scooches from one side to the other with
He just
bow.
draws an arrow, starts slowly walking to the side, going,
Like, nah.
almost.
Is that okay? A bit more.
Roll to hit.
Oh my. Okay. I'm gonna. Just the one.
That just hits.
Oh yeah. Is he dead yet?
Is it dead yet?
21 total.
Gotcha.
No.
Is it dead yet? Is
No.
it dead
The arrow
yet?
just hits, and as it hits its armor, it kind of takes the impact. The arrow splinters, and it just kind of.
Die already.
Jesus Christ, 19. Other shoulder.
And then I back up one more space.
All right.
That's me. That's me done.
Zavangal, your turn.
She would like to insult the one that's currently a porcupine.
Which one? They're two.
The one that refuses to go down.
Yeah,
one?
Which one?
There's
Yeah.
that one, and then there's that one.
I'll pick the one next to Cerno then.
All right. It shall make its or attempt to make a wisdom saving throw. It rolled a natural 1.
Yes.
Yay! He would like to insult it in Draconic and say that his scales are absolutely tarnished and that he should get some new scoots.
Okay, so it needs to roll.
Can I understand Draconic?
No.
No.
It needs to roll 5 plus the damage taken. It rolled a 10. It is dead.
Oh.
Yay.
As it kind of looks at you as if to go, what on earth are you talking about?
I would translate, but I don't.
As it almost collapses on top of Sono. It just kind of sways left, right, left, and Sono just starts backing away before it just plays and lands next to him.
Cerno sees dead people.
Please live with Agnes for a long while. It's fine.
He just
Well,
wanted
yeah,
to hug. And she's going to move closer, going to move over closer to, over.
Alrighty. Sono, your turn.
We can't see the one down the thing anymore, can we?
Nah, the one in the cave's now getting pretty deep in.
Alright,
He's long gone.
It's just wandering in with an arrow sticking out of its shoulder. And some web stuck to its feet, just going, well, this was a strange afternoon.
Should we keep one conscious?
Why?
Let's do it.
Because
What's it
it's
gonna-
funny.
What's it
I
gonna tell
didn't know
us?
you were into that.
What the fuck are you implying?
She's
Cat?
practically undead anyway.
Alright, I'm gonna...
Oh, that's okay.
I'm moving up using my action
Fucked
to
up.
move the moonbeam to there.
Certainly. 4, your turn.
I'm gonna basically do a Shadouken. Is that the flying jump, kick, spin, heal?
Just
Sweet.
roll.
You're
Okay,
taking
fine.
it.
Yeah, no. As you stood there going out, left leg, jump, right, and then you just have to step back as this battle axe almost cuts you in half.
I'm gonna look at it.
Ooh.
I'm going to see about fucking hitting into the head as with my foot.
That hits. Roll damage.
Oh fuck, what's my damage? Oh yeah, it's 1d6 plus 3, 5. Okay, and then for
It
my
rolls a
bonus-
natural 1. As you're just going, oh, for fuck's sake, just a quick punch, and its head just just drops and rolls behind it. The body is still stood there, ready, and then just the arms fall off, and then it just kind of bends over backwards and just collapses to the ground.
Can I look at the other skeleton and try to do the same thing?
It's not a skeleton.
The Zomble.
Zomble.
Not really zombies either.
Is
They're
a dead thing.
Think more of the
I'm
Draugr
gonna-
from Skyrim.
Yeah.
That does
okay.
not.
That
I'm
doesn't
gonna
help.
move over just a hair, and
You
I'm
guys
just...
don't fucking know what the Draugr from Skyrim look like?
I know
Dude,
exactly
I
what
know
I
Skyrim.
look like, and I
played
hate
I'll get
Anyways, I'm
I
gonna
could
use a
do
bonus action to attack again. Does it hit? No, it don't. Never mind.
Is it greater than 18?
No, it's not,
Then
God.
no.
Okay.
It does not hit. So as you go, it was that easy. You walk forward, you do another jab, and it hits the shield, and you're like, oh yeah.
Alright.
Agnes, your turn.
Hola. Assuming they got this under hand, let's start making my way downtown.
Making my
Walking
way
fast.
downtown.
Walking past.
watch out for
That's-
crystals.
Shut
Roll your damage.
up, different character.
Had
There we go.
Making my way downtown.
That's
Okay,
me.
rolled an 18, so it takes 4 points of damage.
Down.
As it's going to step out of the load of glowy light that keeps on setting it on
No, it's
and
not,
just
it's
make
gonna
its
stay
attack at the
there.
guy who just recently attacked.
It misses.
Well, with a 9 it does, but with a 21 it doesn't.
Man, fuck you. Alright, what do I get?
You get hit for
2 damage. Got it.
10 damage. Jesus Christ. Max damage there. I'm sorry, Ninja.
Wait, hold on. How the fuck? Okay, hold on. I was at like 20 some odd
42.
points.
So you've
Yeah.
taken what? You've taken
like
22? 20? Oh no.
I took
24 points of
14.
damage?
I took 14.
And then 10, so you've taken 24 points of damage in total.
Okay, so what the fuck? I should not have drank. Okay.
You're on 18 hit points.
Okay, so I did it. Okay. Okay, so I need to know. Thank you. I'm sorry.
Lucian, your turn.
Gonna move over here, and 2 more shots with bow and arrow.
Certainly.
Gonna turn him into a pincushion, or try to.
Pew,
Shit,
pew,
don't work.
pew. I can't do that without coughing. With a 18 and a 23, you succeed in hitting it twice. Roll your damage.
Sweet.
That is a grand total of 11 damage. It is still standing.
Okay then.
Also, no one's posted a picture of Draugr. They're kind of zombie-esque, but they're also
Yeah.
kind of...
I did a
I'll
quick
find it
Google.
for you.
I did a quick Google. I have a general idea.
They're kind of zombie-esque, but they're also kind of skeleton-esque, and yeah.
A little bit of both.
They
And throwing the glowing eyes.
they
Oh,
look a bit
those
like a
fuckers!
they look a bit like mummies without their bandages and wearing armor.
I got to that
Yeah.
shit. It's If one eye was glowing more, it would be.
Alrighty.
It would be Sans.
With
if the eye
Lucian's
was
turn, it's now Arsene's.
Ew, 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 I get to shoot more people.
I'll
Or-
shoot
How does
you.
that count? How does my... What?
Nothing.
As Mark moves to here.
I heard that, you sly little.
Mm,
I don't know. I don't want to know what you two are giggling about.
Doom, doom.
Don't
Can I
the end
use
is-
worry
my
about it.
inspiration on the second one, please?
Certainly.
Wait, I'm doing maths in my head. Yeah, I can make it. Okay, is it 1d8? Oh, that makes sense. 19.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it
Roll
hits.
damage.
Yay!
12 points. It's on 1 hit point.
Oh,
Oh, are you?
See?
I was on
Oh.
13 HP.
I'm so done with this happening.
I'm sorry. It's just
Oh.
I don't know how you
You're
guys
not,
keep on
you ain't
managing
done
it.
with shit.
Savangal, your turn.
I'm done with
Like to
everything.
insult it?
It would like to try and rebuke this insult.
Your mother's a.
It makes a
snowblower.
15. What's your
Oh,
save DC? 14. So unfortunately, your insult falls upon deaf ears as an arrow just goes straight through one ear and is sticking out the other side of its head.
oops.
And then she would like to cast Healing Word on Boar at level 1.
Certainly.
Here. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, kitty. What does that roll? 4.
So you're at 22.
Yep. I hit
Cerno,
the
your
buy
turn.
button.
Boo. Move up to here. I still can't see down into the tunnel where the guy is.
It keeps you know what? Make a perception check. Yeah, what she said. 13. Glancing down, the tunnel only seems to go about 40 or 50 feet back, and then you can just sort of see a few bits of wood protruding from the floor. All right, Boar, your turn.
Was that my whole turn? Was that like?
Well,
action to look
unless
down?
there's no, but do you want to do anything else?
Yeah, I want to just quickly. I just want to quickly move my
Certainly, move the moonbeam.
there.
Right, Boar.
I shall do a Chuck Norris roundhouse kick in the guy's nuts.
Roundhouse kick to the guy's nuts.
Roll to
That's
hit.
nuts.
I smacked him nuts around.
God.
Roll damage. It shall roll to
6.
try and. Oh, it just makes it. An 11.
Okay,
So as
I'm
you
gonna
roundhouse kick and you hear a sickening crack sound, you glance up, you glance back down at where your foot firmly is, you glance back up. It glances at your foot, it glances at you, it just gets its battle axe and it swings for just below your hips. And you have to retract your leg and sort of just jump out of the way. It's
Is
still
there a
standing, I'm
way-
afraid.
I'm just gonna fucking headbutt it, man. Getting
Roll
kicked
to
in the
hit.
dick ain't gonna do shit. I'm just gonna headbutt.
Okay, roll damage.
7.
It rolls a 16. As you just... You feel the headbutt, the impact, it staggers back slightly, and then it kind of staggers back forwards, and it's just looking at you. It's not going to let this in. It's not going to let what you've done to it go.
I'm gonna take.
You see
a couple-
fury in its eyes.
Okay, so what I'm gonna do, I don't care if I get fucking hit. I'm gonna take a couple steps back, and I'm gonna run and drop kick the fucker.
Okay, well, it is... just roll to hit. Okay, roll damage. Okay. It rolls an 18.
Deja vu.
As you just tackle it it stumbles back, and then you just suddenly feel yourself slipping, and then just essentially spinning around this creature, and just landing behind it.
Man, fuck this shit.
Up and out of the range.
As it
I
just turns
move.
to look at you.
Can I do a backflip out of the bread?
I shall allow you to backflip out of the holy fire, but because you entered it, you
Backflip.
take damage.
No,
Roll a
no.
Constitution saving throw.
The fuck is my constitution? That goes to here. Saving.
Yeah.
It's a +1, guys. Oh, the
And-
20
And Sono, roll your
plus a
damage.
1.
Kill that
That's
healing!
Okay, you take half damage. Sono,
which is- Damn it.
you take 6 points of damage.
Woohoo! Oh god, that's not 60. Not 60. I'm at 16 health.
At 16 health.
Uh,
Agnes, what are you doing?
So, no, do you think we should take this down? Is there any point in having the web here anymore?
Eh.
We're just sitting here while fucking RC and
Yeah,
7.
we're just having a
and
conversation.
We're just fucking
This-
watching this.
This is what I want to be animated, just like his perspective, just above the cave. You know, some webs in the lower part of the screen with Agnes and Sono just going. Should we put this down? And just behind you, there's just this holy light coming down on top of this undead, which is just getting punched and rugby tackled, and arrows just flying into it, and Savangel just hissing at it, and it's just stood there.
With its arms up and giving 2 middle fingers, just like, I can take everything! And on 1 hit point.
I feel like it's like Boar's just ducking and weaving and throwing punches and just hitting it, and it is slowly trying to like swing its axe towards him. You know, every now and then just somehow knocking an arrow out of the air. And it's just the scene of manic behind them, whilst Agnes and Sana are just going, yeah, no, I think we should. The contrast with the whole dark, gloomy environment.
I think we can take it down. That's cool.
I'm assuming if I just drop concentration, it will go.
Poof.
Wow.
So, at this point, Sona's going to look around and see the stuff that's going on behind him. He's going to nudge Agnes and go, watch this.
I swear to God, I will drop kick Soda across the fucking map.
Agnes, is there anything else you're going to do?
Do I see anything or notice anything more?
Perception check. Nope, nothing more than Cerno.
Hey, I'm gonna wait for them to finish up.
All right.
5 minutes
So,
later.
as this
Ow.
undead starts stumbling towards you, Boar, you just see it starting to catch fire slightly more and more. As it swings its great axe, it swings it back, and as it does so, its arm just disintegrates, and you just see the great axe going flying off. As it sort of turns its head to follow it, it just starts the entirety of it starts burning, and soon there's nothing but a pile of ash and chainmail floor.
I can feel how angry he is from here.
So it's a key point to dash, right? I don't need it.
Well, I mean, technically, it's you guys are no longer in combat.
Cerno's laughing.
Sono behind
Wanna
you.
roll the deal?
Can I just have you?
Kick the baby! Whoosh!
Do you actually?
Oh,
No,
I'm tempted to, but no.
I was going to say he misjudges it. All
I
right.
won't need it, but can we roll to heal when combat's over?
You can
No,
take a
you
short
gotta
rest
be
if you want.
resting.
We don't need to.
We're not
I think we
resting.
need to keep moving.
mean, it's
Otherwise,
up to you guys.
that one is going to come back.
With many.
Uh-huh.
Actually,
Savangel will like to stealth into the cave.
All right.
I shall angrily do the same.
How dark is it down there?
mm.
Dark.
Alright.
No, actually, there appears to be a torch lit. There appears to be some light further down into the cave.
Oh, cool. I don't need to worry about about vision then.
Sneaky, tricky,
Yep.
Can I
I'll-
recover my arrows?
peaky.
Can we all stealth again?
Oh fuck!
No need.
Yeah, I'll stealth. There's my stealth.
This is what happens when
Where's my
people steal my
stealth?
kill.
There's my stealth. Let's see what I get. That's another natural one. Hey, boy, the
Well,
boys are back. Yay, let's run and get killed.
No, you just hear the ow, ow, ow,
Wait,
as
what's
Boar
going
keeps
on?
on kicking at Cerno.
Is there a point for me to be rolling stealth after this?
Yes!
Yes,
roll
there
it.
is. You might be
Alright,
able to
let
balance out
me-
this catastrophe.
So.
Two
Then
nat
savage
ones.
2d20 plus
Two
2.
nat ones.
Yeah.
2d20 plus 2.
Wow!
Oh.
3 natural
Oh
ones!
my.
This is beautiful!
The cat
Oh,
is now
shit.
just practicing her air guitaring, whilst somehow Lucian, in his chainmail, is being quieter than all three of them. You see Lucian sort of just pull it, like putting fabric, like wrapping it around his chainmail, going, yeah, this will keep me. Take a step forward, look up, and just see the ow, and Savango going,
And I'm just thinking, okay, I'll go with this.
all this effort for nothing.
That being said, Chainmail, you are going to the shop after this.
Good thing I decided not to do Pass Without a Trace, because that just would have been useless.
Oh my god, yes it would
All right.
be.
So as you guys clomp and clatter your way into the cave, I think it's just decided universally with 3 natural ones, you've kind of failed the group stealth check.
Yeah.
Still have my weapon out at the ready.
As you get about 50, 60 feet back, Sano, you quickly realize why you couldn't see any further. As you're now stood at the edge of a sheer drop.
Oh no.
Oh
Did
boy.
you say there was wood sticking out before?
There is. And as you sort of look, you do see going into this sheer drop is some rickety wooden scaffolding with wooden planks and logs used as slopes for things to walk down and descend into the depths.
Nope.
Dibs! I got
Nope.
there first.
Nope. 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 Nope.
Would you like a lift, Cerno?
Actually,
Cerno is, at this point, taken very far steps back.
Agnes picks him up.
Nope. 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 Nope.
Well,
We have to go down.
Do we
And I
though?
think my way is safer than that.
Oh, I mean, I'm just starting to climb down.
okay, Boar's just walking down.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Agnes is tempted to use levitate to get down rather than use that thing. She's going down like an inch above it, not touching it, and using the wood to pull herself down or whatever.
All right.
Cerno's
With
gonna...
Cerno on her back.
Yep, Cerno's gonna grab a hold, and he's quiet. He's whimpering.
Would you rather walk?
No, I'm fine. I'm fine.
All right. So Boar's just casually stomping down the wooden scaffolding.
Pretty fucking
Agnes
much.
is essentially has just pushed herself and is just guiding herself down using levitate and the wooden scaffolding. What's everyone else doing?
If you don't look at the
Haven't
bottom,
gone
it's
look
not like
at
it's
your
there.
way.
Oh god, that makes it worse.
You can't see the bottom.
Cerno.
That doesn't help.
Cerno. Cerno. Cerno.
Drop him.
What?
Do it. Drop him. Kill him.
No.
Oh.
Wow.
wow.
This is not out of board. This is my mouth.
Again.
I was gonna
Wow.
say.
Remember, hun, that Agnes would rather kill Boar than Cerno.
Yeah, I know. Cause you're a fucking mother figure.
Savangal is climbing down while thinking of up a new song using just Cerno's name as the lyrics.
In dubstep.
Yeah.
Wait, wouldn't it be the Lola song? La 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 Lola. Sa 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 no.
Boy.
Are we all just heading down then?
Yep.
I
Yeah,
assume
pretty much.
Lucian and Arsene are also walking down.
I'm not. I was wanting to pick up my bloody arrows.
Yeah, I might want to check to see if I can retrieve any arrows too.
All right. Well, as they're going further into the cave, you two roll investigation checks. This will take you a little while.
You want to search for other stuff
3.
while we're here?
Oh, Seven Girl picked up Night Eyes and and has him on her head.
God damn
She keeps
Don't
on
shoot
bribing
our
him with
dragon.
trail rations.
Of course.
it.
Well,
find-
unfortunately, the pale moonlight which set things on fire seems to have roasted most of your arrows, and between you, you find 4 serviceable arrows.
Okay.
Wow.
2 each.
Yep, 2
No,
each.
Yeah, 2 each.
That's 2 shots.
Those
Oh.
important shots.
And as you look up, after having spent about 15 to 20 minutes scouring the ground for arrows, you realize your compatriots have gone into the cave without you.
Assholes.
Bugger. Oh,
Why does it not surprise me?
Seven Girl is attempting to walkie-talkie with Arsene using Night Eyes.
All right. Well, you guys are actually quite deep into this cave now. You've probably gone down about 100 feet or so.
oh.
Are we near the bottom?
Hard to tell.
Can
We can't see it. Cool.
Seven Girl just having a casual conversation with Night Eyes about polishing scales and wondering whether or not he can manage to polish his own scales with special products that she heard of in her hometown. Indraconic.
Of course, Indraconic. Well, he's informing her he has never come across. Dude, no one would know if he did use them. And he looks slightly sheepish.
He uses all of the beauty products.
Arsene, Lucian, you venture forth into the cave. You find
Yes.
this sheer drop and the creaking wooden scaffolding and the sort of and the distant whimpering of your druid friend.
Since
Any
I'm
chance we
draconic.
also
Wow.
happen to hear in the background, Sir, no. Sir,
No,
Sorry.
draconic speech, which I believe at least Artina.
Since we're so far behind them, can we have a separate stealth?
Well, unfortunately,
You did
I
always.
mean, Lucian got the 6, but sure, Arsene, you can roll stealth.
Oof.
Well, one of you's clinking, one of you's light-footed.
Yay!
Yeah.
As you
Agnes
start to
kinda gave
descend
up.
down.
Yes.
Now, this is interesting. So, Agnes, Cerno, Savangal, and Boar, you're now probably about 20 feet or so from the ground. And as Boar's kind of do, thump, thump, crack.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
Oh,
I'm
no.
keeping an eye out for anyone. Or
At the
anything.
moment, all you can see is essentially it's probably about a 20 foot by 20 foot 20 foot diameter circular just hole into the ground with this wooden scaffolding.
Uh-oh.
And you've just heard a cracking sound, and as you look, you see Boar has just put his foot straight through some wood.
Oh no.
Or Seven Girl, you may want to run. Are you? No.
I
Are they just
pull
gonna
my foot out. I slowly start turning over. Oh, fuck.
I mean, it was kind of you pull your foot out, it just breaks a little bit more of the wood.
You may want to get moving quickly.
And if I start to move,
Abigail goes on to an attempted kitty sneak across and very quickly on all fours,
Alright.
so that way weight distribution.
I would like acrobatic checks from the both of you, please.
oh fuck you.
Oh no.
X.
Acrobatic
You happy
checks.
you're not walking now, Cerno?
Acro as fuck.
Cat's fine. Bear's fine.
Alright, you're both able to quickly and nimbly kind of just dart your way down the last couple of ramps and are now stood happily on the bottom as Agnes gently stands down. Arsene and Lucian,
Oh boy.
you're
Uh-oh.
about 100
Does
You're
Night
about-
want to send warning?
You're about 135 feet up in the air, slowly making your way down the scaffolding as you just kind of hear it beginning to squeak and it's beginning to slowly shift left and right and sway a bit more than it was beforehand.
This isn't my
Abigail
mildly
uses
terrifying at all.
the cat uses Night Eyes as a walkie-talkie to inform Arsene that there might be some broken boards.
She's 125.
How long has it been since we started going down?
She's 100. I believe she's about 105. So, oh no, I said 125 feet up. So she's out of the range of Night Eyes, I believe.
Yeah, it's 100-foot range. Them to
How long has this
communicate.
been down? How long has it been since we started going down?
To descend 150 feet.
Mhm.
I don't know. It's taken a good probably half an hour.
You know, levitate's 10 minutes, right?
Yeah, so I'm assuming you stepped and then reactivated it.
Okay, I'm going to do that again.
Considering the
Go
fact
get
that it's,
Arsene.
I was going to say, considering that it's at will.
I'm going to go get Arsene.
Sono's gonna jump off.
Oh yeah, I would have dropped him off first.
Yeah.
The
Okay, so
Abigail
you can move 20 feet around. You'd be easily able to essentially rocket your way up there somewhat.
Go get Arsene.
I put it at that rate due to the fact that it was being careful and you are keeping pace with them. Right, so as Arsene and Lucian are now, I assume, hurrying slightly more, Agnes is now rocketing her way back up to you guys. Let's see. I would like Lucian and Arsene to make dexterity saving throws, please.
Yay!
Can I not grab Arsene? No.
Oh boy.
1d20 plus 2.
Natural 20.
Can I help Lucian with that? Not 20?
1d20 plus 2.
Oh, I
1d20
miss rolling
plus 2.
20s so much.
Oh no.
Okay. Arsene, the scaffolding suddenly shifts somewhat violently, and you're able to maintain your balance, and you just notice Lucian, eyes wide, just beginning to tip over the edge.
I grab him. Oh god.
Make a dexterity check to see if you can grab him.
Just attack. Check.
Just to check. Alright, you're able to reach out, and you just grab hold of his wrist, and he's just kind of leaning there. He's probably at about 45 degrees.
Pull him back up.
As in away from if we're saying standing upright 0, he's leaning. Okay, you kind of pull him up, and as you do so, you feel the scaffold shift again, and you hear a.
Jesus Christ, what the frick is this? Okay.
I don't think we're going to be able to leave the way we came.
I'm getting that Arsene. How far is...
Okay.
You're probably getting close now. What's sort of happening as you're rocketing up. So what do you guys do?
Oh god.
Abigail is attempting to antenna Night Eyes to see if he can get reception to Arsene.
So you're just currently holding him upside down and just sort of adjusting the tail.
So I'm not still on the verge of falling, right?
Yes, you are.
Zerno's hugging the ground.
Okay. I mean, I have rope, but that's it. That's all I've got.
And as compensating for using Night Eyes as radio, she keeps feeding him.
He looks confused, and you keep on just shoving food in his mouth. Oh, all right. Nom, 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 nom.
God damn it. Okay, I went from thinking vaguely that Night Eyes looked a bit like Spyro to now just being this circular ball of a dragon.
Oh no, he gets a lot of exercise in flying.
Are you sure? I carry him a lot.
This is also true, and he sleeps in your hood, so soon you might just be walking at a 45-degree angle.
Let me find a picture.
All right, so Agnes, you're probably about 20 or 30 feet away from them by this point. Lucian, Arsene, what do you do?
Help me up!
Can
Not
I?
in character, but
Oh, try and make sure I have better footing and then pull him back up.
I mean, he has been pulled up, but you're stood atop this. Well, not atop. You're stood partway down this scaffolding, which is creaking and swaying.
How
And you
far
heard a
down?
loud crack a moment ago.
So it's 120 something feet down.
It's 100 and something feet down at this point, yeah.
I have 100 feet of rope.
What are you going to tie it to, though?
I have a pickaxe. I'm gonna shove it in the wall.
Don't you have a... Oh no, it was Paul that had it.
Do you have any rope, Lucian?
let me check. Inventory. Yes, I do.
Oh,
I
hell
have
yeah.
50 feet of rope.
Chuck it over here. Okay.
I do
pass
that.
You know
Okay.
you've only got 50 feet of rope yourself.
I have the dagger of knots.
Ah, you do have the dagger.
Mm.
So, I would like to tie the two ropes together
All right.
and then put the dagger of knots at the end of that. Oh, I'll like loop my arm around or something. I don't know.
Make that a dexterity check. Sleight of hand, I guess.
Sleight of hand? Okay.
19. Okay, the ropes seem to tie quite greatly together, and as you're finishing tying these three lengths of ropes together, you hear another and there's a shudder underneath your feet.
So I have 3 ropes and the dagger of knots at the end is the last one.
Well, the dagger of knots is a rope, but yeah.
Okay, I'm just making sure it's the bottom one of the 3 ropes sort of linked together.
Yes, it's one of the end ones.
Attach it to the pickaxe.
All right,
And then shove that in the wall as hard as I can.
strength check.
Okay, here comes the nat one. Okay.
15. Okay, you kind of swing and the pickaxe kind of digs into the wall. Doesn't feel that secure. It's not a python. This is a pickaxe. It's kind of dug in there somewhat, but you can wiggle it around a bit. And with the sort of force of the blow, you even push the scaffolding away from the wall slightly, and you hear a few more creaks and snaps.
Am I there yet?
At this point, Agnes, you are there.
Right there, yeah.
And you just see Arsene with a pickaxe in the wall and a load of rope.
Arsene?
Mm-hmm.
I'm here to get you down.
And
Now.
Lucian?
He can manage.
I don't
No,
think
I
you can.
can't. And you
No.
know it.
Can you
Arsene?
hold this pickaxe in place whilst we go down?
I don't think I have that weight. Do I?
Okay, it's beginning to now slowly and steadily
I'm
shift
grabbing
towards the
Arsene.
left,
No,
and it's
take
not swinging
Lucian.
back.
I'm lighter. I'll go down on the rope. I also have the necklace thing. If I die, it's fine.
It's
back.
not swinging back.
Agnes is grabbing Arsene.
I'm saying no.
Agnes is
Alright.
grabbing
Down the rope.
All right, Agnes, make an athletics check. Arsene, make an athletics or acrobatics.
Oh my god, woman.
This is where Lucian dies.
Down the rope I go.
All right. As Agnes tries to reach out to grab, she just kind of bats your hand away, grabs hold of the rope, and just kind of steps off.
I grab the rope then.
Where in the rope?
The rope. I don't know.
There's 150 foot of rope, woman.
Near the pickaxe.
All right, you sort of just see her doing this and grab the rope near the. See how.
I don't know how the spell works. Because it says it can lift 500 pounds, but that's.
I weigh.
So you're levitating and you are holding against the pickaxe and you're pushing it into the wall. Lucian, what are you doing? As Arsene is now hanging from a rope, which Agnes is essentially now just back against, trying to push further into the wall, and you're on a now beginning to descend platform.
Trying to climb up as much as I can to be able to get in range of the rope and then grab it.
All right.
Climb up.
Well, I think you mean down, but this make a. Actually, no. I think you're able to sort of run, leap, and just grab hold of the rope. There's now. What's the combined weight of you guys?
I weigh. What's my stuff? About 250.
I'm 128.5 for my
That's your
equipment.
equipment, and you weigh 150 yourself. How much do you weigh, Arsene? That's 250. That's essentially 250 plus 250 plus Agnes, the rope, and the pickaxe. Agnes is now falling.
Whoops.
Zero.
Ooh.
Do I
As the
fall
as the
for or
levita-
just
the
float gently?
levitate spell essentially just gives out, and you're now falling.
When the spell ends, the target floats gently to the ground.
Yeah. This isn't the spell ending. This is the spell becoming over, so it just cuts out. You can reactivate it. You've got plenty of time to reactivate.
I will react.
But you're falling now.
Slow
right.
fall down.
So you fall about 40 feet before you're able to get the spell back in as you slow down to just levitate. Let's roll a d100 and see what happens to the pickaxe.
Yay.
All right. It's still wedged in there.
Yes.
Just as you two are now hanging and the scaffolding is now collapsing. Guys at the bottom, you're starting to get bits of wood splinter rain on you.
I suggest
Has
we move.
Night Eyes got reception back yet?
Arsene is a tad preoccupied to respond to Night Eyes at this.
Sono's gonna.
Does Night Eyes give any confirmation that he at least got a connection?
I mean, you're shoving food in his face. It's kind of hard. And it has to break connection with Arsene to be able to communicate with you telepathically.
Come now, please. Run.
What are you guys doing? Come on.
I'm starting to move, trying to drag some of them.
Well,
you
it's
get
you,
moving.
Boar, and Savangal at the bottom.
She takes out some of her stuff to see if she could create a soft landing as much as possible in case they fall.
Alright, what stuff are you using?
Let's see. She has some extra clothes and uses the cloak too.
Okay, so she just kind of throws some fabric on the ground and then steps into the hallway.
I don't know.
Run.
Move
Quickly.
out the way.
Rubble is falling. It's beginning to clatter onto the ground.
Okay, move the fuck out the way.
Alright. Agnes, you're now floating again.
But I'm not
Arsene.
carrying any of them.
You're not carrying either of them. Arsene, Lucian, you're clutching to a rope which is swaying, and you can hear a slight cracking sound.
I'm going down as fast as I can, even if it burns my hands a little.
I
Same.
am
Athletics
going
check.
down to grab Arsene again and try.
You're below her currently.
Yeah, I know. That's
Woman,
why
I
I'm
will
going
fight
down.
you.
All right. Lucian, you're just going "F this," and you're just kind of fireman poling down, and your hands are beginning to get rough.
I'm wearing gloves, aren't I?
Yeah, that's why I said even through your gloves. Your hands are getting rather warm, and you can feel the glove material beginning to kind of get ripped. Arsene, you're very quickly just going down, and you guys are able to bypass Agnes even at the speed she can levitate.
Hell yeah.
Roll another set.
Another what? Sorry. you cut out.
Another athletics, so roll it again.
All right.
I feel like Roll20 it takes it in turns. Like after a few months, someone else starts rolling badly.
Yeah, I think
very
I think
sorry,
it picks and chooses.
Yeah,
All right,
apparently.
Arsene, you're able. You're still going down very quickly. Lucian, you're still kind of sliding, but you're doing a bit more hand monkey. Let's see if you're probably at about, I'd say 60 feet at this point.
Okay, nearly there.
Let's see how the pickaxe is faring. Okay, it's still embedded.
Oh, thank God.
Right, another check,
It's-
please,
it's a
guys.
Wait,
smiley face.
am I in line with them?
No, they've gone past you.
Oh, whoops, I got distracted.
All right. Nope. Yep. You two are just steaming down this rope at quite some speed. The wood shards falling on you, but you're just bottom, hand monkey motions, sort of sliding somewhat, and just a final check for the rope. No, it holds.
Oh, thank God.
Yay.
Wow.
I
As
feel
you are
very
able
lucky
to
tonight.
quickly get to the bottom with a very annoyed Agnes floating down about 30 seconds later. As
Okay.
also wood is still raining down
Okay,
and
so
now
let's go.
forming an ever-growing pile on the floor.
I wrap my
Did
hand
any of
around
them
him.
need to use the landing pad?
No. Well, actually, Lucian and Arsene did come down rather. Speaking of, Lucian, your gloves are kind of wrecked at this point.
Okay,
Yeah.
So
I was planning on making a trip to the armorers after assuming we get out of here alive.
If we get out here at all.
Like I said, assuming that we did.
Clunk, 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 clunk.
Can we move first before?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to yank the
You're
pickaxe out
ushered
with the rope.
and dived into the tunnel which leads out of this shaft. There are torches on the walls, lit, and as you're finally able to catch your breath for a bit, you glance around and notice that the sconces appear to be sort of hammered in haphazardly. But stood before you is a fine pair of carved sandstone doors.
Oh no.
Oh boy.
Anything
Nothing
on
Abigail
top
has
about
given
the door.
back night ties to Arsene, and I think he weighs a bit more now.
As you hand him back and finish feeding him, he's able to tell you that he has a connection back to Arsene.
What's Dagon done throughout the whole of this?
Oh, fucking enjoyed watching.
Pretty much.
Pretty much, he was just on the ground. He was floating down with you, and then you back up.
He's
He was
essentially the
he
peanut
was just
gallery.
essentially going, "Where's popcorn when you need it?"
Yep, he's the peanut
What's
gallery of the group.
popcorn?
You get corn, you stick it near fire. It's great. Although you do need to put sugar on it sometimes, or honey, and it's a bit
Hey.
weird.
Butter.
Butter.
You don't hear him saying that.
Where are you guys anyway?
And
You guys are all stood in a tunnel with one end a collapsed set of foundations, which a collapsed set of sort of mixture of old and new wood forming a sort of scaffolding going up is now just a pile of ruin on the floor. You are now stood in a tunnel with two braziers, not two braziers, with two sconces either side. The torches are lit, and in front of you are two exquisitely carved sandstone doors. They have curves, weaves, and just lines all engraved into the two brass door handles. They are closed.
May I suggest
Does
trying
any
to
of
find
us
the stuff
recognize
Samuel
this?
threw down?
They're just carvings. There's no language to recognize.
No, but does anyone
The landing pad.
recognize?
Oh,
Yeah, your stuff.
comprehend languages.
Not
There
languages,
and the
There are
stuff
no
on the
languages.
floor.
It's
symbols.
just carvings. No, it's just swirls. It's just swirls and lines. It's no symbols. It is not any form of language. It is just a decorative. It is just a decorative swirly pattern. There is nothing
like-
to recognize. It's going, ooh, swirls.
Every design has an era that it's usually
I
built
was
in, so
about
it's
to say.
like our
The
scene, knowing their history.
answer is no. It is
No.
just a generic sort of swirly pattern.
That's incredibly disappointing. Just
As
make it
far
up.
as as far as
Make it
us
up.
as far as our scene can tell, this is quite an old set of doors. The purpose of them is to be doors. Probably built by multiple races. There is no sort of distinct features to them.
Ugh. Well, I
This-
have one background, and I do.
Yeah,
want
you're
to
not in
well.
ruins yet. You're stood at the fucking entrance.
But it's
There are just a
door.
pair of doors.
But they're
Trust me,
doors.
Abby. My background is that if I want, an NPC will fight for me till their dying breath. We've not had that situation where an NPC is at a fight, so it's
I
like.
have that one for a different character.
Mm.
I
You do
understand.
indeed.
What about Savangal's stuff that's now buried underneath a pile of rubble?
You can try and excavate part of it. It'll probably take 10 minutes to kind of shift the
Will
rubble and
the
get it.
collapsed scaffolding now count as a ruin?
Oh my fucking
The
God.
original purpose of the ruin was to be scaffolding to allow transport and down this shaft.
Can I
It
open
was
the
built
fucking
wrong.
with
door?
using
Finally
new
off.
and old wood by not so delicate craftsmanship of probably undeads in nature.
Can I
This
open
is
the
where
fucking
rocks
materials
really
used-
fall.
The materials used appear to be old and rotting timbers found some unknown place and fresh wood recently chopped.
He's still going.
Kitty's going to pick up her cloak.
Yeah, I'll help.
All right, given about 10
I'll
minutes, you're
try
able to
Mage Hand
shift.
to open the door.
You're
I
able
was
to
about to
shift.
fucking go up to it and open it.
Saves you from getting electrocuted if you touch it.
God's sake. You're able to shift some rubble in about 10 minutes and retrieve your cloak. As you are doing this, Agnes casts Mage Hand, starts pushing open the door as Borders walks forwards and slams them open. As they squeak open.
Oh, God. I learned this the hard
Oh,
way
boy.
last time.
Don't worry, it's not a
It's all
battle map.
black.
Where are we?
Not as bad as
Can't
that.
see shit.
I know you can't see shit.
And God said, "Let there be light."
Look at you.
Ah!
And God said, let you see a room.
This
Right.
feels like deja vu.
Yeah,
We're
apart from
going down a
this-
staircase.
You're not on a staircase, you're on the floor.
No, we went down a staircase.
You did.
We're in a room with 3 exits. Is there a sconce in the middle or like a fire in the middle?
No.
With people?
And if you'd let me
Are they
talk,
wearing
you'd
pulses?
find out what was in the room before Agnes somehow gets crushed by rubble.
Okay.
Mm.
This
Right,
may be
you're
the-
staring
this may
into
be
a
the-
room. There appear to be 3 doorways off of it. There's a main one to the front of you, Boar, with one to the left and right, which are smaller looking and single doors. To the front of you appears to be double doors, very similar to the ones you've just smashed through. In doing so, you heard the clatter of wood. As you turn slightly to your right, you notice a rather surprised-looking armored undead who was once holding a broom and is now busily making his way through the door to the right.
Can I quickly stop him?
The room to which you are standing in, or somewhat in, and no, he's a bit too far away. He's sort of just. You slammed open the doors, strode in, and there was kind of dropped, and it just turned and started walking out.
Fuck this shit.
He was just like, "Fuck this! I'm not cleaning up this mess." The room smells somewhat musty. There is a faint whiff of decaying, not only flesh but also food. It smells somewhat musty, and there's small bits of green, but as you glance around, it actually seems to be relatively well kept and relatively well swept. The room is relatively large, sands, with slightly more detail put into the walls and the carvings within them. Still not depicting anything in particular, but still sort of swirls and light. There appears to be stone seating placed around the room, along with a small basin in the center, which may have once been filled with water, but now serves no purpose. Also glancing around, there appears to be just a casual rotting corpse propped up on one of the benches.
Oh, for fuck's sakes.
Just casually.
What is he wearing?
That one hasn't dropped a broom.
No, that one's not even moving.
Oh,
Rotting
shit.
What is
corpse.
he wearing?
Can we
He
shit
appears
in
to be
this
wearing sort of ripped and torn robes. Not robes, sorry. Ripped and torn sort of working clothes. Sort of thick cotton t-shirt and sort of trousers. Appears to have a belt with a few loops on it for where made tools might hang on to.
Okay.
I would like it to shoot it.
Can I
I
actually?
see
I
you
was
step through the door after her. It's an arrow and just squelching sound as the arrow hits into the rotting flesh, and you hear as some flies start buzzing around.
Guys, I
retrieve
got
my
this.
arrow.
Can I find a rock and throw it at it?
No, they've all been swept up.
Oh, for fuck's sakes. I go outside to the pile of rubble and find a decently sized rock.
Okay, well, there's no. It was made of wood and string, so you find no rocks.
God fucking damn it.
You can find a decently. You can find like a decent brick-sized chunk of wood.
Yeah, I want that, and I will throw it at
You
the
pick up a
corpse.
decent brick-sized chunk of wood as Savangal and Cerno ting her cape.
Just like, I need this.
I don't think they're going to complain.
And I throw it at the corpse.
It kind of starts to slide off the seat slightly and just kind of is now just lying on the floor in a heap with a few more flies buzzing around and the smell of flesh really getting quite pungent now.
You know something? Last time I did something like this, similar to that, what you just did, I got hunted out of a town.
By just
What,
throwing a
opening
rock
a
at
door or throwing shit at dead bodies? Out of character, by the way.
Out of
Love
character.
dead bodies. That's Agnes saying that, not me. No.
Okay, well, I think this is harmless, but knock on wood. I go basically grab the piece of wood and knock on it.
We've seen face bombs.
Can I go in and see what's down the hallways or the doors?
The hallways have doors in them, and as Arsene steps into them, she's beginning to get a bit more of an understanding of the ruins she is now standing in.
Yay! Brilliant.
Oh, of course.
Tell me everything.
What do your tiefling eyes see?
Everything.
This
The amount of silence is just.
Nate's pissed. Is basically what it is.
No, I'm just reading exactly what I said to know.
Ruined.
Yes, when entering a ruin or dungeon, when you enter a room, you can correctly ascertain its original purpose and determine its builders, whether those are dwarves, elves, humans, Yuan-ti, or some other known race.
Ah, don't be mean.
There's a reason why they look like just normal carvings. However, you can ascertain that this is beginning to feel somewhat temple-esque and may have been some place of worship, also acting perhaps as a stronghold as well. As for the builders, it appears to be no one specific race. There seems to be aspects of well-made, the dwarven stone cutting well into it, with aspects of more elven sort of designs and other parts which are completely alien to you.
I mumble all of that under my breath as I stare at everything because ruins. I'm glad we came here now.
Just ruined the night.
It has made our scenes day.
Yeah, well, it's ruined mine. Anyways.
Ruined?
Yeah, ruined.
Right. Where'd you go? What'd you do?
Someone hate myself for that fun. I don't know.
We'll
I
go
just
in
opened
and
the
what do
fucking
we
doors.
see?
There any
There was that
writing
one
in the
door
room?
that the guy ran down.
No,
Yeah.
should we kill them?
Yeah, where did Janitor run to? Yeah, we should probably go kill him. Where did he go?
Is that door still open?
No. It's a wooden metal door. It's a bit rotted. You can kind of see through bits of it, but it has swung. There are lights. And
Mage hand open it. Because I don't want to touch anything.
well, if you'd let me continue, you can see through the door and realize that it leads into a corridor.
It leads into
Okay.
more doors? What?
And another door at the end of it.
I'm guessing this one's also just closed.
Yeah. And there are sounds coming from the side of the door.
Uh-oh.
How
What do they
wide?
sound like?
How wide is this place?
Could be a problem.
Because we don't have a grid.
That's because the passageways are probably about 5 wide enough for you guys to walk through comfortably. The main passageway is wide enough to get maybe 2, maybe 3 people through at a squeeze.
Alright.
This literally is not a battle map. This is literally just a top-down view of what to explore.
Okay, cool. Have we joined
You
up
hear
with
that,
the others at
guys?
this
No
point?
battle map.
At this point, yes, Sono and Savangel have extracted her cape and are stood with them as they're kind of stood around this one door.
We could have company coming from there.
Well,
We could. Oh god, that's loud. I'm awake.
Is this place?
Good.
Oh, this place is lit up because of the torches and stuff.
Yeah.
So I don't need
The,
to worry.
the torches are alight. There's a broom on the floor. And
Do we
there's a small
wish to go
pile of
down
dust.
there?
What's with the broom?
I mean, there's also a rotting corpse which got pelted by a block of wood, and an arrow sticking out of it just collapsed next to a bench.
Did I
I
get
see.
my arrow boot?
Anything that I think we should check the other rooms too, to just in case. Make sure we don't have any visitors coming in from the other side of the room, like before.
Okay.
Use mage hand and open the room on the left.
Does that look like the one that just came out from the entrance and just walked away with an arrow?
Well, no. It's a right. You weren't here. It's essentially looks like a sort of working man who's been dead quite a while and is rotting.
Oh, okay.
And then got shot by an arrow. Had a chunk of wood thrown in it, and then just kind of it was originally propped up on a seat and is now collapsed onto the floor because of the arrow and the.
I can't help but just find this whole undead janitor thing kind of amusing. I know I'm
Dude,
gonna
I
be eating
feel
my
like he's
words
gonna
later.
kill us.
Probably will.
open up the other door on the left.
And that's what I've done. It's a corridor.
Yeah, open up the
Mhm.
Do you
corridor.
hear anything from this side?
Oh, you're gonna
Should
open
I
up.
open them up? Mage hand open them up?
Do you recall?
Do it.
All right. So I assume you go in. The corridor in length is about 15 feet.
Yeah, Sterno will walk up front.
Alright, so you wander in, and within this room, there is just actually make a perception check. So.
Perception check, as you wish.
Perception check all around?
No, just
No, just for Cerno.
That's an
Okay.
11.
Because he's going first.
You glance around, and it appears to be what was probably once an armory. There is just the odd bits of chainmail, an occasional shield, just sort of lying around, and on the eastern wall, you notice that there are 5 weapons bolted into a rack.
Oh.
There's a door across the other side of the room, and what you assume probably were once armor stands and weapon stands have been taken, moved, and made in part of the scaffolding.
What are the 5 weapons that are bolted into the wall?
And there's a dagger, a greatsword, a morning star, a rapier, and a scimitar.
Are they still in usable condition?
They look like they're made of. Well, they look like they're akin to the weapons you guys are currently carrying. There doesn't seem to be anything too special with them, other than the fact that they're bolted into the wall, and upon closer inspection, they each have a small nameplate.
Is the you said there's writing in the nameplate? Is it in common or any particular language?
It is actually in common.
Okay, can I read what it says?
All right. So, on the dagger, it reads, "The finest point." On the greatsword, it reads, "River Carver." On the morning star, Dawnlight. On the rapier, Hope Weaver. And on the scimitar, Peacemaker.
Hey. Do they look like they have any sort of magical enchantments at all?
You kind of glance them up and down. They seem to be rusting slightly, no runes that you can see.
So they're stuck to the wall, right?
Yeah, there's essentially like, it's a weapon rack, and then there's essentially just several bits of like a metal bolted, which hold them into the wall, bolted onto the wall.
Okay.
Did the names ring a bell?
Roll a history check.
History, okay. That is, I think that's just +1, but I'll, yeah, +1. History! Horrible histories. That's a 16.
Gruesome tales. That one. 16.
Can you repeat it for us note takers out there?
Luckily for you, Comet has this in recording. But yes, the dagger is called the finest point. The greatsword is called River Carver. The morning star is called Dawnlight. The rapier is called Hope Weaver, and the scimitar is called Peacemaker. From what you can recall, Sano, a greatsword called River Carver rings a bell. Some folk story about a giant and a challenge and carving a new channel for a river, but you can't really put much of it together. If anything, this sword is not fit for a giant. It seems to be suited to more human proportions.
Lucian is going to see if could I write down in character the names of these.
Do you have stuff to write it down on?
Yeah, Inkwell part. Remember, I went and bought.
Oh yes,
Inkwell.
then yes, you can.
Okay.
Does this look like a... Do they look like they're up, sort of bolted onto the walls like a shrine or something of the like to go, these weapons are important and cool and a part of history or something?
Not really. Just appears to be a weapon rack with weapons bolted into it. And then just a few small brass nameplates stuck on them.
I get a look at them.
Yeah, what does our scene make of this?
Do we need to go find these weapons? Put them back. Is that what's going on here?
Does Happening Girl know any stories about this? Like any of these type of names from being a bard?
Make another history check.
Any sign of movement from the other door?
There's sounds of movement coming from that side of the room, yeah.
As long as they're staying there, then that's fine.
10. You don't recall much. You may have heard of a story to do with a silver-tongued hero who wielded a very thin sword, Hope River, but nothing. It's like there's a slight glimmer of, yeah, I think I've heard that. But nothing really that leaps out, yeah.
Do we check the next door then?
May as well.
Yeah, go
So,
Agnes is still in the main room, you know that.
Wait, really?
ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Come on,
Maybe we
Agnes.
should check.
Fine, but she's keeping an eye out behind.
And with that, we shall call it a session.
Yeah.
Wait, what was the
Da,
morning
da,
star
da.
called?
Dawnlight.
Thank you guys so much.
Dawn Night, thank you.
So is a 6 idiots.
Okay.
It's the only one I didn't get. Nick, you've been making more vestiges.
I don't know. Have I?
I say more. Because
Those 4 weapons were there on the wall, right?
5.
Were those
I
vestiges?
thought there were 5.
well, I mean, considering Nate just dropped a vestige on my other character without telling me for like 3 months.
You don't know. You don't know it's
Okay.
vestige.
I don't, but I do.
I was
Okay,
going to say
what
it's like
vestige is it? I'm curious.
the vestige of Ioun.
It's a ring.
Arcanist's intuition.
You know the ring? The ring we
The
forced.
ring which they were goleming over, hilariously enough, is an incredibly powerful that magic users can utilize. And it ended up with the fucking can't cast a save his life.
It stopped it. Asshole.
Fucking
It's
Oh,
okay,
boy.
I got it back.
Of
It's mine
course.
now.
And then they went and pissed off a entire temple of Ioun. So, you
I
know,
wanted no part of that. I had
something
no choice.
interesting's going down. And then they fucking ignored, like, well, not the main plot, but they ignored the plot which I was throwing at them.
I
And
didn't.
decided to go to university instead.
Look, I didn't know he got a letter.
I know.
did the
Can't blame
bastard
me.
keep to himself or something?
So, question.
Hmm.
Do we get experience from combat?
You do.
You.
Sweet.
Definitely not enough to level up.
Oh no. Oh no. But
Someday.
And even if you did, you'd essentially need a long rest to achieve as well.
We
Oh,
need
okay.
5,500 more XP.
yep.
But
You're
do you
nowhere
not
near
like
yet.
Puss in Boots from Shrek?
They have no.
Mhm.
They have
Oh,
no
no, I love
context
Puss
for
in
that.
Boots.
They don't need fucking context. Just all you need to know is Puss in Boots from
Oh,
Shrek.
I love Puss in Boots from Shrek. He's like the only character I like.
Okay.
Well, especially when he's
Oh boy.
over a chair, just getting all nice and wet.
Okay.
That's probably why I dislike the GIF.
And on.
This is
So
why
yay,
I
I'm
said,
finally
yeah.
starting to figure out how to use Roll20
See?
at last.
I don't know why,
There you
but
go,
it makes
that's
me
the-
very uncomfortable. I don't know why.
the uncomfortable of that getting all nice and wet?
I don't like it.
Okay, and I'm going to cap that
Bye,
conversation off there.
guys. Have no context at all.
They don't need context for this. All
Just
we need to
replace it
know.
with
Thank you for
What?
watching this
dancing
episode
around
of
the
Dummies
undead.
and Dice. They successfully did not ignore the main quest. Well, they successfully did not ignore a quest, and now
They
find
did.
themselves in a ruins? Question mark.
Next
Oh.
episode,
To an
Dummy
unknown
and-
being.
And none of
Next
us fell
episode-
unconscious.
We shall
Or-
see how their minds fare come next episode.
Next
Be
episode, we're gonna
beautiful.
do.
Okay, I do not like the way that you
everything.
just said that.
We're gonna
Alright.
just
Also-
Thank you for watching the challenge of errors.
Probably large cliffhanger considering I think next week is the last week before we go into random one-shots and stuff again due to Christmas and people going on holiday and jazz.
Yep, all that fun stuff.
And all that
Yeah.
jazz.
Alright.
So thank you for
Oh,
watching on this
okay.
episode of 6 Idiots, 1 Dice.
Alright.
He
Just
did
join
one.
that train.
Don't worry, Comet.
Bye, guys.
You can cut it off at my outro.
I can, but I won't.
That's editing.